Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Harness Tube. Steve Surratt, David Brink with you here. We're in Edgar County over in Paris,
Illinois, yeah.
And so, David, we've got a big day of racing available for us today, don't we?
We do. We're over here in the Big 12, or excuse me, the Big 10 area. We've got 12 races for you, a couple IHHA races in the card with. But yeah, we're excited. Beautiful fair, gorgeous fair over here.
Absolutely, and we're looking forward to bringing that to you today here from the Edgar County Fair, as we have, like David said, 12 races for you today. David, if you want to keep talking, I've got somebody on the other line who probably needs to talk to me.
Absolutely. We're looking at Big 10 today. We got about Big 10 division. We got 2-year-old filly pace.
Yeah.
And we have all the races, don't we?
Yeah, it is.
The nightcap, we're going to have an open trot in the 10th race, and then we have 2 IHHA races. We split them up, mares and colts. So the mare division, 3-year-old and up, will be the 11th. And then our 12th and final race will be the horse and gelding division of the IHHA 3-year-old and up pace. Where it's a long way from home over here in the Edgar County, but we made the trek from Mount Sterling all the way across to a handful of miles from the Indiana border in Terre Haute, Indiana. But we're happy to be here. We're happy to be set up. We've got a nice setup down here in our studio, we'll call it, and got Lisa over there in the grandstand ready to go.
Yeah, David, and beautiful day for racing. Absolutely beautiful. We're the low 80s, and we've got a little bit of breeze. The people over in the stands, what I like here is they have those big fans in the stands, so there's air moving over there.
Those are 10-foot fans or something. Those would move a lot of air. But, yeah, there's enough air moving around to keep everybody comfortable, hopefully.
And so with that, we'll have more information. It looks like officially Kurt Becker is showing up.
I thought I saw him too.
Here. But we'll take a station break. We'll be back after these messages. Back with you on Harness Tube as we look. We want to thank our sponsors out there that are helping us out with the broadcast today as we get ready to go with harness racing. We're having a little bit of difficulty with the camera there, but we'll get that worked out before we get started yet today in this as far as the racing's concerned, David.
We want to make sure we thank all of our our sponsors and everyone and give them some time here. But if you do have an advertisement you'd like to get on our program, go ahead and reach out, Facebook, YouTube, Gmail, call the number on the screen, anything you want. But we'd love to have your advertising on our program here.
Absolutely would. And you can do that by contacting David on Facebook at Harness Tube or YouTube at Harness Tube. You don't need to even put the IL after it anymore.
I need to change that. You're right. Yeah, we locked that down.
And then harnesstube at gmail.com. If you want to contact him by email, he can send you the rates. We've got a solid 2 weeks of racing here, so we have plenty of racing going forward that you can be involved with.
And this is kind of the high traffic time when we're live so often back to back to back. It kind of keeps the traffic up. So if you do have an advertisement, this is the high viewership times.
Lisa's working on some things over there. We still haven't got a camera view because we're trying to watch her and do this at the same time. But, yeah, or you can just give him a call, 312-772-5122, to be able to talk with David, and he can tell you exactly
Absolutely.
what's left and what the cost might be. But that keeps us free for our customers. We really appreciate that. And the other thing we really like is from the backstretch, David. We'd love to have some new photos from some people out there from the backstretch to tell us, hey, your favorite fair story, your favorite fair food, whatever's going on, or send us some nice pictures like these. We'd like to have some more people pictures. We got plenty of horses watching Harness Tube early on. That picture there's one of my favorites, Sour Grapes watching Harness Tube on YouTube. And then we've got a nursing home shot here. I know this is one of your favorites here, the nursing home.
Yeah, it's such a cool idea.
That.
That generation grew up watching these kind of races at the fairs, and it means a lot. Plus, it's a fun activity. So they're in Camp Point at the nursing home. They were watching us one day, and they were picking their favorites and betting pieces of candy, I believe. And that's just such a cool, fun time.
And then we've got some others here from other places.
From the Wilfong's barn, I believe, yeah.
Yeah. Horses and people watching. This is a cute picture there of a horse out there.
And I think he's here. That was from Tyler Stevens Clemens, and I think I just saw him warming up on the tracks, so we'll actually get to see him today.
All right. As Lisa tries to get the camera out, your favorite memory, shoot that to us. You can do that at Harness Tube on YouTube. You can make a comment, actually.
Yeah, the comments are great, and I must apologize. There was a couple people that were sending in some pictures. I'll have to look through my phone when we were at Farmer City last week or whenever it was, and I was over on the camera in the middle of the sun and didn't get my phone in my pocket to sit over to you, but I think we had some really cool pictures from the Decatur crowd. Sent in one of the white sides over there, and just some cool stories that were sent in and that I didn't quite get on the air last week.
Yep, Lisa's got us a good picture back there. We appreciate that. Lisa will communicate back over to her that she understands we're on the air. We're doing good with the camera view over there. So great job by Lisa. She's over there. We're over here. Never the twain shall meet sometimes. Although tomorrow night we should be in the same vicinity as her tomorrow night over in Urbana for that tomorrow night. And, again, we thank our sponsors and thank for what they do for us. Tomorrow night we're going to be up in Loman Ray Insurance Agency area.
Brian will be. That's his home track up there, just close to here. But Loman Ray's been a supporter of ours and been super with us to work with this whole time. The Flacco family there on the screen, as you can see. If you know horse racing in Illinois, you know the Flacco families for sure. Lou's Legacy has been the dominant sire and this trotting sire in the state for a long time, and we appreciate their support and wish them the best of luck as well.
Absolutely, and U.S. Trotting, they've been a big supporter of ours, and we thank them for that. But also coming up here in this next slide we'll give you, tells you what we've got going on. We're close to the end of the season, but I'm going to say we're halfway through the season, David.
Because we're on one sheet now. We're
almost to one sheet. Tomorrow night we'll be to one sheet tomorrow night.
This last couple weeks is just kind of bam, 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 bam. So if you have been watching and you've been enjoying and following along, there's plenty to come the remainder of this month.
And we're in Paris today. Tomorrow night, the start time will be 6 p.m. We'll be on the air about 5:30, 5:45, somewhere in that range. 16 races, one of those being a celebrity race. And actually, that's my favorite race of the night,
I love it. I'm so thankful for the crew up there in Urbana for getting that accomplished. I'm sure Brian had to do a lot with it. And I tell you what, that's a really neat opportunity. We've got, I think, an MLB Hall of Famer, an ex-Illini basketball player, and then I think the local the local news anchor, and will be announced, guest announcer. This is exciting for me. The guest announcer is the associate men's basketball coach from the Illini, so that'll be interesting to hear him kind of give his take on how to call a race.
Oh, yeah, that will be interesting, but as you can see, a full schedule. We're Paris tonight, Urbana tomorrow, Lewiston on Thursday, then starting Sunday, with the exception of Tuesday of next week, everything breaks loose straight through. We're in Lincoln for 2 days, Charleston, Altamont, Charleston, back to Brown County. And normally that's our stop, but we're making a new stop this year into Marshall. David, you won't be making that trip with us, but we'll be in Marshall to finish up the harness racing season for us.
Absolutely. Tanner asked us to come down there, and we'd love to come visit. We can. got some working out to do to figure out some of the details, but we're going to be down there. We're going to put a camera on the track and watch some horses go in a circle for sure.
All right, with that, we'll take some commercial time and give some more time to our sponsors. You're listening to Harness Tube on YouTube. One of my favorite commercials, David. They're done by your boys. I enjoy having that, helping us out with the subscribing. And we do need people to like and subscribe us on Facebook or on YouTube, particularly if you subscribe to us. If you do the things there, subscribing, you will get notification when we go on the air each time.
If you like what we're doing, if you're new to us, if anything like that, just go ahead and give us a subscribe, and it helps.
Even if you don't like what we're doing, please subscribe, okay?
Exactly. We'll take all the free subscribes we can get.
And have you been in contact with Miss Krista
I've reached
Henry?
out to Miss Henry, and I have not heard back. I think she's over in Ohio. I sent a Facebook message. She's a Facebook follower. I have not heard back yet. I think I'm not a friend of hers. I might have to try adding her first before it'll show up in her inbox or something. But I've tried reaching out. Krista Henry, if you are listening, we'd love to get you your gift certificate to Design by Des. It's on my house, on my kitchen table, ready to go.
All right. And so we're thankful for that. We want to thank we don't got that in our head, luckily. But I want to thank our generous donors. Our donors, our 30-second ad people, our billboard ad people are what keep it free for the viewers out there. And folks, the viewership is all over the United States and in foreign countries.
In foreign countries, for sure. And keeping it free has been a mission from day one. I wanted to make sure if someone wanted to watch a race, they could without having to put a paywall up or something. This keeps it free for everybody. Everyone's donorships have been so much appreciated. I hope we can get you a product out there on the internet for free of charge.
Well, and you could do so by going to Venmo at HarnessTube, at HarnessTube, and you can do it by PayPal at HarnessTube also, or if you just like to send an old-fashioned check, you can do that to P.O. Box 63 there in Mount Sterling, Illinois, our hometown, 62353. Or we're over in the under the announcer's booth. You can just hand us cash if you want. We've had
it's
that
happened before, yeah.
Or Lisa takes it over in the grandstand.
She can take her seat for us, yeah.
Happy to do that for us, but it keeps it for free.
We appreciate everyone's donor for sure. And if, you mentioned the paper check, that tends to be the most popular, it seems. I guess maybe it's just the old school way of doing business, but I get a lot of checks coming in the P.O. box, so we appreciate all those coming in.
All right. With that, we'll take another station break. We'll be back with Harness Tube on YouTube after these messages.
Is that Lane Avenatti?
All right, as we come back with Harness Tube on YouTube, Lisa told us we didn't have any sound on our ads, so hopefully we got that changed up. We'll figure that out here in a moment as we get ready for what's going on here. David,
for Illinois Big Ten Colt Stakes Harness Racing. It's going to be a fun evening of racing and a lot of great races lined up. And don't forget, we'll be giving away a lot of cash and prizes after that 12th and final race here this evening. We welcome you not only on behalf of our Edgar County Fair Board of Directors, but also on behalf of our sponsors who present tonight's program. They include Beck Seed and Wayne Mars, our friends at Cargill, also Crispin Farm Center, Cody Keys Trucking, Deepoltz, Diamond Financial, First Neighbor Bank, Adams & Son, Gopher Pool, GSI, Illini FS, also the Joe and Nyla Hassler Foundation, Longview Bank, Moss Auction, Nutrien Ag, Robinson Accounting, Rural King, also Seed Solutions Chip Keys, Sparklight, Stewart and Carroll Funeral Home, Teamworks, and Templeton Funeral Home as well. Thanks to one and all of our sponsors for harness racing at the Edgar County Fair. We've also got some great blanket sponsors lined up tonight, as always, and we'll talk a little bit more about those blanket sponsors as we move through this evening's card. Just a couple of changes at this time on the program. By the way, how about the new racehorse barn over on the back straightaway? The Buck Davis barn stood in that spot for many, many years, and of course Buck was a nationally accomplished horseman who showed ponies and went to the American Royal, went to the International in Chicago, state fairs, county fairs. Well, the Buck Davis barn served us very well for many, many years. And in the interest of planning for the future, the Edgar County Fair Board of Directors approved the construction of a new racehorse barn standing along the back straightaway in about the same spot where the Buck Davis barn stood. And of course, that barn is in use tonight. We can see a number of horsemen from our vantage point here on the infield looking back toward the back straightaway already are in the stalls, getting those horses ready to go for racing here tonight. So always good to see the progress that is made and always planning for the future here at the Edgar County Fair. And one of the reasons this fair dates back over 160 years. Just a couple of scratches and driver changes to pass along at this time. If you want to make a note of the changes, if you don't have a track program, they are on sale at both the north and south entrance to the grandstand. Again, not a lot of changes right now. If you would turn to the fourth race. In the fourth race, the driver of the two, Battle Shoe Honey, is Freddie Patton Jr. That's in the fourth race. Number 2, Battle Shoe Honey, Freddie Patton Jr. will be the driver. And scratch the 4, Exhibition. Fourth race, number 4, Exhibition, is a scratch.
5-1, place in.
Race number 5. Thank you, Judge. Race 5. Driver change on the 1, Lose Fortitude, and that'll be Clay Simpson. That is race 5. Number 1, Lose Fortitude. Driver Clay Simpson, who has made the journey from his home in Fairfield, Illinois, to race with us here this evening. Wyatt Avenatti, he has a double call in race 8, so there will be a driver change in the 8th race that we will pass along soon. Looking ahead, nothing in the 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th. So those are the scratches and driver changes as they currently stand right now, about 9 minutes until post time. Horsemen, if you would please come to the track for the first race. We are ready. Race 1, horsemen come to the track for the first race, which is the Illinois Big Ten Colt Stakes 2-year-old filly pace. A reminder, these Illinois Big Ten races are restricted to Illinois conceived and foaled horses, and many of the horses you're watching here tonight in the Big Ten are getting ready for the Illinois State Fair Colt Stakes, which are coming up beginning on Thursday, August 8th at Springfield, and of course the County Fair Challenge Series and other stakes races at the beautiful DuQuoin State Fairgrounds in southern Illinois. But again, horsemen, first race, come to the track with Till You Can't, Shark 2, Frontier Fantasy, PD's Rum Runner, Annie, and RK's Mac. One note, the ownership of number 6, RK's Mac, has been updated. The ownership of number 6 is now MM&D Racing of Charleston and Roshan Trigg of Brandon, Mississippi. So please note, updated ownership for number 6, RK's Mac in the first race, now owned by the MM&D Racing of Charleston and Roshan Trigg of Brandon, Mississippi. And RK's Mac, your program tells you there's a line to be announced. That pacing filly raced just a few days ago at the DuQuoin State Fairgrounds, and that was on Saturday, finishing third. Good effort. Third on the big 1 mile track at DuQuoin, beaten time of 1:57. So RK's Mac, third at DuQuoin on Saturday with a beaten time of 1:57.
All right, David, as we get ready for racing here, and so okay. All right, David, we're going to talk about some of our picks here as we do the picks before we get here. And, David, you picked the 4-horse PD's Rum Runner, and that's coming off of a win, I believe, in Farmer City, right?
Coming off a couple wins, actually. And if that horse actually raced over, as you was talking about racing at DuQuoin last week, that horse was in the United Champions prep race and put in a heck of a mile. So that horse is going to probably have to step up at the state fair. But right now we're still against County Fair Company. I think he's one of the better horses in the state in this division. Okay.
The other thing that all three of us actually picked that horse to win this race. You and Lisa picked the 3-horse Frontier Fantasy, driven by Mike Cox. The trainer is Jamaica Patton. And then I picked the 6-horse, which you picked to finish third. I picked the 6-horse RK's Mac. Mike Cox, Rochon Trigg horse, to finish second. And then I picked the number 2 horse, Shark 2. And you finished, let's see, the number 3, both Lisa and you picked in second, and she picked the 1 horse to finish third.
Oh, she likes Marcus, huh?
Yeah.
I noticed you went with Jerry Mims's horse, the first-time starter. That's kind of an interesting pick on your part.
Yeah, I just looked at some of the things out there on the horse, and kind of
liked
just
him?
Because I like the horse. Honestly, we'll just see what happens with it.
Well, I've got Mike Cox down to drive the 3 and the 6. I didn't hear a driver's change yet. Oh, we might be missing the national anthem, looks like.
Okay, we are. With that,
I don't think we're going to get into it now. We're kind of too late.
We're kind of too late with that. We're down in a room. We're in the basement.
We're in a studio, we'll call it. Yeah, we're below the judges' stand, kind of closed off in our own little room down here. It's not too bad.
And with that, they're getting ready for that as they finish up. We've got 12 races on board for you tonight, and we'll see if we have a driver change. They didn't announce any driver changes in the first race here today. Nice little crowd in the grandstands for today's race, and looking forward to that as we bring harness racing to you on Harness Tube on YouTube. We thank you. Give us a chat. David, you got a couple of chats over there. Anything out there?
One was me, and one was someone letting us know about the sound after Lisa did. So people are helping us out on the chats too. But if you want to go look in the YouTube chat, you can find the race program. There's a link to it. I just dropped in the chat. So if you want to follow along at home, there's a copy of the program in the chat.
All right. With that, they've finished that. We'll go back to Kurt Becker.
6, RK's Mac. That'll be Freddie Patton Jr. In the first race, number 6, RK's Mac. That will be Freddie Patton Jr., who will be the driver. So we are just about set to go. Again, horsemen, you may come to the track for the first of our 12 races here this evening. It has been a busy county fair season for these harness horse trainers and drivers, and for these horses. They have been racing across the state at various fairs. They have been racing at the state fairgrounds at both Springfield and DuQuoin. You may notice tonight the purse structure has increased significantly over what we've seen, probably more than what we've seen in the last 5 or 6 years, and that is because there is a standardbred advisory council that works with the Illinois Department of Agriculture, and on the advice of the advisory council, our Director of Agriculture, Jerry Costello, approved purse increases for the statewide county fair circuit, so that's why we're kicking off with a pretty nice $4,500 purse in the first race. Again, horsemen, come to the track. Just a reminder, after the 12th and final race this evening, Diane Boyer and I will come trackside. There will be 8 drawings for $100 each, thanks to our sponsors. 8 drawings for $100 each. Also, we will recognize the oldest veterans in attendance. There will be special prizes for the 2 oldest veterans in attendance as well. Congratulations to Aubrey Lawson, who was crowned the new Miss Edgar County here yesterday evening, and little Miss Ellie Krieger. Just saw them making their way through the grandstand down trackside, so great to have them with us here for Illinois Big Ten Colt Stakes harness racing at the Edgar County Fair. Day 3 of the fair itself continues all the way through Saturday. You've got Connor Family Amusements on the grounds, as always, on the southwest portion of the property, and free admission to the grounds all week. Art Hall is open. It opened up at 4 o'clock. Some great exhibits on display, and the county fair is indeed in full swing.
All right, David, as we get ready for this race, updated driver on the 5, Freddie Patton Jr., and I'm having
on the 5 or the 6?
The 6, excuse me. And I'm having problems with the sheet updating. It's updating on one and not on the other. So I'm going to try a couple of things here before we get started, and you'll lose it on the screen and then hopefully get it back here. It says Mike Cox on the screen, and I can't figure out why. And let's see.
You want to cut to a camera and cut back to it?
Yeah, cut to the camera, and we'll cut back
nope,
to it.
Nope, camera just dropped.
Okay, camera just dropped.
No idea. Mike Cox is on the Arcades Mac now.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I don't see.
I don't see her.
Yeah, I'm not seeing what's going on. If you want to keep people informed, we'll try to get in contact with her and see what's going on. Hey, we lost your camera. Say what?
Waiting for the 2 Shark 2, the 5 Annie, and the 6 Arcades Mac. A reminder, Freddie Patton Jr. drives the 6.
It's between the monitor and the Wi-Fi.
All right, David, we've got the picture back, and so we're thankful on that. We're trying to get some other technical difficulties kind of worked out here. As
I don't think we missed anything. Kurt was still waiting on a couple horses, so. Does the driver change your picks at all?
We lost the camera again.
Let me think. Okay. It's on.
Now it's back on. I don't know why she's losing it. But we're trying to get the driver changes done and get those things done so things are up to date for our listeners out there. As we're just having a couple of technical difficulties today.
If they were waiting on us, I would feel a little worse, but we're waiting on horses, so I guess it's our dead air that we got to deal with. But
And the camera keeps going on and off, David, like we have that power cord issue with, did she plug the wrong power cord in? Is that old power cord still in that bag?
I don't know, maybe.
She might be looking for that as she does that. I think.
Well, if the power cord was out, we wouldn't have the Holly lamp. Yeah, we would, because it comes from this receiver. Never mind.
Yep. Yep. So.
Just checking over at the backstretch at the new barn. Matt Avenatti, if you can hear, will you please wave? Over on the back straightaway, Matt. Anyone on the backstretch, if you can hear the PA. Yep, there we go. Good. Thank you. Judge, indeed they can. Waiting on number 2, Shark 2. Waiting on the 2 horse, Shark 2, and then we'll be set to go with the first.
I think that's what she's doing right now.
All right, we think we've got, hopefully she'll get the camera issue figured out, but yeah, it's that power cord, I believe, for that's we've had an issue with in the past. It just doesn't put enough power out.
Well, yeah, we get this high-tech wireless HDMI system, and it comes with a transmitter receiver, but only one power cord. So,
All right,
we're up.
We are ready to parade to the post for the first of our 12 races. Race 1, the Illinois Big Ten Colt Stakes. 2-year-old filly Pace. Let's beat the starters. Number 1, Till You Can't. Owned, trained, and driven by 18-year-old Marcus Detweiler in his very first summer of competition as an officially licensed trainer and driver. Number 2 is Shark 2, owned, trained, and driven by Jerry Mims out of Vardaman, Mississippi. 3, Frontier Fantasy, owned by Linda Allhands of Monticello, trained by Jamaica Patton, Michael Cox, the driver. 4 is PD's Rum Runner, owned by A Piece of the Action LLC of Perry DeLuna of Culver City, California, trained by Kevin Miller, the driver. Wyatt Avenatti. Number 5, Annie, owned by Elizabeth Radel of Edgewood, trained and driven by Cornelius Cabot. And number 6, RK's Mac, is owned by the MM&D Racing of Charleston and owned also by Roshan Trigg, the trainer out of Brandon, Mississippi. And the driver, contrary to the program, is Freddie Patton Jr. as they get ready to gather up on the backstretch and head toward the starting gate.
she's not up running. All right, David, any final notes on this as we try to get our camera thing straightened out? There's Lisa moving the camera. And, yeah, everything was working fine right up until race time, right?
That's how it goes, right? You know, I've learned to not even flinch anymore. Just go ahead and let whatever happens. We'll put out the best picture we can and the best audio we can.
That's absolutely right. And if not, we'll give you the audio of it. That's pretty much a
Whichever one we can get going, we'll give you one.
Absolutely. Well, we're glad that you're on board today and watching.
Just
and
saw the
listening.
ambulance pull up over there, so I think we should be ready to go whenever these guys get the field together. Be interesting to watch this PD's Rum Runner. I said he's been a nice horse so far. 3 starts, a second, and 2 wins, and those last quarters of sub-30.
As always, the Illinois Big Ten Colt Stakes keeping point standings for each division for the summer campaign. That is a tradition that dates back into the 1970s. And the official Illinois Big Ten point champions are recognized at a banquet held in Springfield. The first weekend of March is typically when that banquet takes place. We mentioned this because the point system is 5 points for a win, 4 for second, 3 for third, 2 for fourth, 1 point for a fifth place finish. Coming into this evening's opening race, it's number 3, Frontier Fantasy, who leads the standings with 10 points. Second in the standings, that is a filly named Truly a Winner who's got 9. She's not here this evening. That's because she's actually entered for tomorrow evening at the Champaign County Fair at Urbana in the Illini Colt Stakes. Right now they are at the post and the gate is rolling for the first of our 12 races. Great to have you with us. Top of the stretch. Here they come for the first. Often pacing to get us started in the opener, and there goes PD's Rum Runner with Edgar County's own Wyatt Avenatti in the race bike. PD's Rum Runner goes right out for the lead as the field moves down into the first turn, has made the top clear by 2 lengths. Till You Can't is in the second position. Frontier Fantasy comes away racing in third. Shark 2 is in fourth, down toward the inside as they head off the first turn and up the back stretch. There goes Annie. She's moved up 2 spots, now 3 spots from last, and in fact moves on into the third position, but still 5 lengths off the lead. And further back, RK's Mac is the early trailer as they roll by the quarter in 32 seconds. 32 seconds for the opening quarter. Up to the north end of the course they go, and PD's Rum Runner is the leader. Harness racing, a long-standing tradition for this historic Edgar County Fair. And PD's Rum Runner leads the opener here early on for Wyatt Avenatti with a 2-length margin. Now, Annie made up a lot of ground, picked off several positions on the backstretch, and now driver Cornelius Cabot finds a spot to slot her in right behind the pace setter and catch a breather as they go on by the half. Till You Can't is in third position. RK's Mac is fourth up on the outside. Frontier Fantasy shuffled to fifth, and Shark 2 is last of the 6. 104 and 3 for the first half mile. 104 and 3/5 of a second. And here comes RK's Mac. RK's Mac moving up on the outside as they head up the backstretch toward the 3/4 within a half length of the leader, PD's Rum Runner. PD's Rum Runner to the inside and RK's Mac on the outside. Half length separates the top 2, quarter mile to go. A gap of 8 lengths to Till You Can't in third. Annie is in the fourth position. Then Shark 2. 136 and 1 the time at the 3/4, 136 and 1. The top 2 have gotten away by 20 lengths. Who's it going to be? RK's Mac on the outside or PD's Rum Runner on the inside? Shark 2 made a break on the final turn. They're still side by side for the lead though. RK's Mac and PD's Rum Runner, and RK has the lead. RK's Mac kicks clear in the closing strides. RK's Mac opens up and wins it by 3.5 lengths on the line for Freddie Patton Jr. It was PD's Rum Runner home second, better than 25 lengths back to Frontier Fantasy, who settled for third here this evening. Then it was Annie in fourth, Till You Can't, and Shark 2 to complete the field. 2:07 flat is the time for the 1 mile distance. 2:07 flat. 2 minutes, 7 seconds flat for the 1 mile distance. Blanket presentation upcoming.
All right, David. 2-horse race there, and it changed down the end with RK's Mac coming up. And guess what? Not a single one of us picked that horse to win.
I think we all used her just in the wrong spot, didn't we?
Lisa didn't even pick RK's Mac.
Oh, well, we used her in the wrong spot. But yeah, Freddie picks up the drive and puts a good drive. I
want to put it there that I had it in second place at least. You did not have that horse until third place.
Yeah, I hear you there. No, Freddie did a great job on that drive, kind of waited patiently, moved when he had to. Made it, if you're the 2 best horses in that race, you want to get your distance away from the rest of the field, and he did that.
Will be just a moment before the entire order of finish is made official for the first race. There is a steward's inquiry into the move in the final turn by the horses which were well behind the leaders. So the judge will be communicating by 2-way radio with the drivers who were involved with all of the shuffling for position on the final turn. Again, that was well behind the leaders turning for home. RK's Mac, congratulations to Mitch and Mike Titus and Dennis Wright. And RK's Mac, this girl's feeling pretty good, and why shouldn't she? She just won the race. She goes by the stands tossing her head and hopping up and down, and she knows she's done well. MM&D Racing of Charleston, again, that's Mitch and Mike Titus, and Dennis Wright. Roshan Trigg is the trainer and the co-owner out of Brandon, Mississippi, and Roshan is down trackside, gets a congratulatory fist bump. The Big Ten 2-year-old pace is the Barney Colvin Memorial. He was an Army sergeant during the Second World War, member of the American Legion and VFW, and left us in 1993. And we remember Barney Colvin with the Illinois Big Ten 2-year-old pace. And you already gave this girl a nice cheer, but how about another round of applause for our winner, Arcase Mack. This 2-year-old filly is by Revenge Shark, was bred by Dennis Wright and Mitch Titus, so a homebred for these connections. And we mentioned our Queen Aubrey Lawson, our Little Miss Ellie Krieger. They are trackside to offer their congratulations. Brenda Watson of the Illinois Harness Horsemen's Association, Mary Lou Wright, our fair president, Big Ten president, and superintendent of speed. Your winning driver comes to us out of Clinton, Mississippi. His name, Freddie Patton Jr. Congratulations to our winning connections in the first race. The co-owner and trainer, Roshan Trigg, we talked about this at a fair last week. Roshan is the father of 5 daughters. So he's already put 1 through college. He's got 2 more in college and 2 more yet to go. So if you're a parent that you have to put a pen to paper and figure out the budget, how we're going to make that work, well, Roshan can identify with that. And as he told us, he's happy to do it and wants to see his daughters get a good education, and absolutely, as any parent wants to see. Full field rundown will be coming up in just a few moments. Again, the Chief Steward is Randy Callahan out of Greenup, and he is currently conducting a steward's inquiry into events on the final turn of the first race. So as soon as he has completed his inquiry, we will pass along the full field rundown. Again, the time for the mile was 2:07 flat. By the way, our thanks to the folks at Harness Tube. They are here this evening to bring live coverage of the Edgar County Fair Harness Racing online. You can visit their Facebook page, or you can go to youtube.com and enter Harness Tube and click on live broadcast. It is a broadcast that is anchored, as always, by Steve Surratt and David Brink. Our thanks to Lisa Surratt, the camera technician. Good to have the Harness Tube gang covering our races online tonight.
All right, again, David, a good race. We're waiting for the official results, but the first 2, that's really the ones that make the difference here.
Right.
And so, again, a beautiful, good race and a move there late in the race for
Arcase Mack.
Arcase Mack to win the race.
You know, I was kind of surprised that Wyatt let Freddie go on by like that, but you know what? Sometimes you make the decision in the moment and you try to take a shot off their back, but it is what it is, and Freddie put a good drive on there. That filly is coming along. You know, she's made a couple starts.
Stewards have completed their inquiry into the first race this evening, and the stewards' ruling is that number 1, Till You Can't, who finished 5, shall be disqualified and placed 6 due to interference on the final turn committed against number 2, Shark 2. And number 2, Shark 2, therefore, who was 6th across the finish line, is promoted to 5th. So here's the full field rundown. It is official for the first race. The first division of that Barney Colvin Memorial. Number 1, Till You Can't, 5, placed 6. Shark 2, finished 6, is placed 5. Frontier Fantasy was 3rd. PD's Run Runner was the runner-up. Annie finished 4th. Arcase Mack, the winner. 32 seconds at the quarter, 1:04 and 3 at the half, 3/4 and 1:36 and 1. The time for the mile, 2:07 flat. With the placings, it reads 6:53, 2:41. Checking the updated point standings for the Illinois Big Ten Colt Stakes in the 2-year-old filly pace division.
Right, turn it up.
7-313-97. Find us.
Okay.
Pine Ridge Mobile Home Transport is the go-to mobile home transportation company. We provide top-notch services including moving, block and leveling, and even demolitions with a quick turnaround time. If you're looking to move or get rid of your mobile home, Pine Ridge is the company to call. We now have dumpsters available for rent at competitive rates. Contact Wayne at 217-313-9744 or find us on Facebook.
All right, David, back with Harness Tube as we get ready to go for race 2 here. I'll get Kurt back up so we can hear when he comes back in with things. But we're glad that people are on board with us as we get ready for race 2 in today's race. And let's look at what the picks are out here. 3 of us picked, you and Lisa picked 1, 2, 3. Just 1, 2, 3, Fort Perry, UNC Outside, and Valley Sage. I did 1, 2, 4, so I picked the Mighty Riker. Tyler Stevens Clemens driving that course for Fabian Johnson.
Good to see
a couple
Tyler
of races
here,
there.
Race, the driver of number 2, Unk Outside, will be Michael Cox. Michael Cox drives the 2, Unk Outside. Also note, contrary to the program, the 4, Mighty Riker, is a gelding. Number 4, Mighty Riker, contrary to the program, is a gelding. This reminder that Danville Veterans Affairs Medical Center is in need of body wash, and to help with this, the Paris Elks Lodge number 812 will be hosting a donation drive. It actually started a couple of days ago and will take place each night during the fair. Parking located at the American Legion. Simply drop it off as you are parking your car across the street or walk by and donate, and all brands are welcome. We thank you one and all for your donations.
All right, everybody got the driver update there. I was
believe
able to
so.
do that for Mike Cox driving the number 2 horse.
Unk
But back,
Outside, yeah.
and so, can you give us any insights of Fort Perry, the Wyatt Evanetti horse there? Nothing but first place on that.
It's hard to overlook that horse, obviously. You look at the card and it shows nothing but 1s on it. I mean, the horse leads from the gate to the wire and doesn't look back. So, got to put him on top. I used Unk Outside second. A couple wins, just more experience, and my third choice.
Parading to the post race 2, the first division of the Illinois Big Ten, 2-year-old Colden Gelding pace, and this is a continuing division of the Barney Colvin Memorial. Number 1 is Fort Perry, unbeaten Fort Perry. How about that? This 2-year-old, 4 wins and 4 starts. Owned by Constance Oakey of Georgetown, Kentucky, right outside of Lexington. The trainer is Kevin Miller, the driver Wyatt Avenatti. 2, Unk Outside, owned by Dietrich Kelly of Canton, Mississippi. Jamaica Patton of Rochester, Illinois, trained by Jamaica Patton. Michael Cox, the driver. 3 is Valley Sage, owned by Janet Dawn Asaro of Hazelwood, Missouri, trained and driven by Darla Martin Lohman of Effingham, Illinois. Number 4 is Mighty Riker, owned by Patrick Massey of Crystal Springs, Mississippi. Renata Bowie of Crystal Springs, Mississippi. The trainer is Fabian Johnson, the driver Tyler Stevens Clemens. And number 5, Shark Legs Are Long, owned by Brian and Candy Herzog of Beecher City. The trainer driver is Freddie Patton Jr. Headed to the gate for race number 2. Brian and Candy Herzog, the owners of number 5. Here's a reminder, they will offer their annual yearling consignment coming up on Labor Day, Monday, September 2nd at the Illinois State Fairgrounds at Springfield at the Illini Classic. The Herzogs always bring yearlings that are well prepped, look sharp, and go on to race well. So, horsemen, keep in mind the Brian and Candy Herzog consignment. That'll be on Labor Day at the Illinois State Fairgrounds. At the post, the gate is rolling for race 2. 2 sales in Illinois each year, and the Illini Classic, as mentioned, is on Labor Day. And don't forget about the Land of Lincoln sale, which takes place 2 days prior, Saturday, August 31st at Sherman. Gates rolling, just about set to go. Our starter tonight is Roy Finn. At the steering wheel is Mr. Stacy DeRoos. Our starter, Roy Finn, for many years had the track record here. Altamonte, 2 minutes flat. So Roy knows this track very well. So does Stacy. He's raced a lot of horses here. A couple of horsemen in that gate. Here they come, race 2. They are off and pacing. There goes Fort Perry. The unbeaten colt goes right out for the early lead. Valley Sage comes away in the second position as they head down into the first turn. Fort Perry, the early leader. Fort Perry on top by a length and a half. Unk outside is going to move up the inside lane of the racetrack into second. Mighty Riker moves up from the outside into third. Valley Sage gets shuffled back into the fourth position. Then there's a gap of a dozen more lengths back to Shark Legs Are Long, who trails the field. They go on by the quarter-mile mark, and Fort Perry is the leader. Fort Perry, the lead is only 1 length. Mighty Riker is ranging up on the outside second, a half length as they go on by that quarter-mile mark. Unk outside is tucked away in the third position as they swing around that north turn. 33 seconds was the time for the opening quarter, 33 seconds. You've still got Valley Sage in fourth, racing 5 lengths off the lead, and then a gap of nearly 20 more lengths back to Shark Legs Are Long, who trails the field as they come on down toward the halfway point. Side by side for the lead. Fort Perry, the favorite, has the lead by a head. Mighty Riker right there on the outside in second, and Unk outside is third. Mighty Riker with an awkward move there past the half, put in a couple of awkward steps off a half in 105 and 1. 105 and 1. Mighty Riker ducked toward the right, and then Tyler Stevens-Clemens quickly got that pacer, gathered back up, got him to refocus and settle down. And as a result, he's still in the chase here, and here he comes again. Mighty Riker starts to draw alongside of Fort Perry. This is bold here, challenging the unbeaten 2-year-old is Mighty Riker up on the outside, and now Fort Perry picks up the chase and opens back up by a length and a half as the tempo quickens heading on to the final turn. 1:37 the time at the 3/4, 1:37 just like that. Fort Perry is in front by 5 lengths off the far turn as Mighty Riker is second by 3/4 of a length, and then Unk outside, who's third up on the outside. But Fort Perry showing you why he's unbeaten. A brief test at the 3/4, and just as quickly he was gone with a 5-length lead and just kept drawing away. Fort Perry, much the best here in race 2. Fort Perry won it by 9 lengths. It was Mighty Riker with a good effort to be second. Unk outside was third. Valley Sage was across the line in fourth, and Shark Legs Are Long is home in fifth. 2:07 and 2/5. The time for the 1 mile distance, 2:07 and 2. We'll meet the winner, Fort Perry, in just a moment.
All right, David, Fort Perry doesn't disappoint.
Comes through this time, huh?
Yeah, comes through again. What is that, 5 in a row?
I tell you what, though, you even had Kurt surprised with that Mighty Riker pick coming up for second there, because they're in the 3/4 pole. Kurt made a comment about Tyler's awfully brave challenging that leader, and sure enough held on for second. So tip of the hat to you.
I missed it. I picked it for third.
It's all right. I mean,
yeah, but I was close.
Yeah, Lisa and I didn't even look at that horse, so you knew something we didn't know there, and drive by Tyler Stevens-Clemens there.
Are you saying I got some horse sense?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, it was a nice aggressive drive by Tyler there, and kept that mile honest, and made Wyatt have to work the 3/4 pole and open up a little bit, but doing so gave that opportunity for that horse to finish second there. Created that space for that horse to finish and not have to be sitting with Unk outside on his back.
Well, what I was looking at was that horse was consistent in its 2 races. It was a 4th and a 3rd.
We went back and checked the record books today. Several members of the Avenatti family of Crispin have competed in harness races here at their home fair in Edgar County over the years. We found that the Avenatti name has been winning races at this fair for at least 50 years. We found where Earl Avenatti Sr., the grandfather of Wyatt Avenatti, won the Big Ten 2-year-old pace here in 1974 with a horse named B.A. King. And ever since then, the Avenatti family has continued to pile up wins over this racetrack. And here's the latest example. out of Chrisman, Illinois. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a hand for your winning driver, Wyatt Avenatti?
Big crowd out there for Wyatt. A lot of
Nice
hands.
Wyatt teams up with trainer Kevin Miller, who bases his stable at the Champaign County Fairgrounds, to score the win here and remain perfect. Does Fort Perry, 5 wins and 5 starts, 207-2 tonight. Owned by Constance Oakey of Georgetown, Kentucky, which is home to a Toyota manufacturing plant. Again, just outside of Lexington. Fort Knox, the sire of this 2-year-old pacer, a gelded son of Fort Knox. As Fort Perry, 5 starts, all on the Illinois County Fair Tour, and he has won all 5 of those starts. Members of the Avenatti family, Wyatt's grandfather Earl has won here. His dad David has won here. His uncle and aunt Earl Jr. and Lisa have won here. His brother Matt Avenatti has won on this racetrack. Wyatt has won a lot of races over this racetrack as well. What a family tradition at their home fair in Edgar County, the Avenatti family, folks.
David and a youngster really happy there.
Here's the full
Right
field
back on
rundown
the
for
race.
that second race. It is official. From the top, Fort Perry was the winner. Unk Outside finished 3. Valley Sage was 4. Mighty Riker, the runner-up, and Shark Legs Are Long finished 5. The quarter in 33 seconds, the half in 105 and 1. 3 quarters in 137, the mile 207 and 2. Reads down 1, 3, 4, 2, 5. Fort Perry, by the way, as some of you may know, named after an historical site in the state of Georgia. Third race coming up, second division of the Big Ten 2-year-old colt and gelding pace. No changes in this third event.
Yoder Custom Woodworking was started in 1995 by the Yoder family as a retail Amish furniture store in Sullivan, Illinois. They offer custom kitchen cabinets, granite and quartz countertops, built-in office and bathroom cabinetry, and offer a wide range of Amish furniture. Their store is located at 1117 West Jackson Street in Sullivan, Illinois, with store hours Tuesday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturday 9 to 3. For more information, contact Yoder Custom Woodworking at 217-728-2166.
Own a little and love it a lot. TheStable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. TheStable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at TheStable.ca.
Back, David, as we want to thank our sponsors again, and the Midwest Illinois Racing Association season
Is winding down.
is winding down.
The only 2 left would be Mount Sterling and Mount Sterling.
And then we getting ready for the Coles County Fair. Is that's going to be 3 days of racing. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We'll be there Wednesday and Friday.
Correct.
And you're actually doing the track announcing on one of those days, or both of those.
Couple
days.
of them, I believe. Yeah. Clark lasted me into it. They needed somebody to step in, so I'll be doing the announcing there in Coles County at Charleston.
And again, if you need to do any advertising, the information's up there on the screen. A lot of racing left in this season for Harness Tube yet, almost 2 weeks full of harness racing. We'd love to have you on board with it. We hope that you watch. Send us your comments. David's watching the YouTube kind of chat there. David, anything we need to point out there on YouTube?
Scott's in our chat. Scott Nance is one of our loyal listeners and followers, and he's making his picks. He's picking along with us, though. He missed on that first one. He had PD's Rum Runner, but there in the second he came through with the what was it? Fort Perry. I wanted to say Fort Knox. Fort Perry in the second race. So Scott's playing along, too, and picking his winners down there.
And we've got lots of other people that get in on the chat. We want to thank you for that. Keep giving us some things on the chat. Scott, you've never answered this question. Scott Nance, I'll ask you to answer this. What's your favorite fair food? I mean, he always throws out comments.
Exactly.
I haven't heard what his favorite fair food is.
I haven't heard
that's
either.
what I go to the fair for.
Or your favorite fairs, Scott. I mean, if you've been to some of these fairs back in the past and some good memories or a good race that sticks out in your mind, drop it in the chat and we'll throw it up on the screen for you.
You know what my favorite fair food is? Do you remember?
Bruisers? Oh, no.
No. Cheese curds.
Oh, that's right, the cheese curds.
Not that pre-formed stuff.
No, the
I'm
ones
talking
that
about
are
the irregular form, and they're getting harder to find out there.
They are. It's some of those boutique-type food trucks at these fairs are kind of going by the wayside, but, those things are from a time when, man, everything was homemade and tasted the right way, so.
As we get ready, though, for race three. And race three, a couple of favorite horses in that. It looks like across, let's see. You and I picked, who else but Baba's Old Fashioned. We picked, Lisa picked the Masons Matt Session, White Avenue-driven horse, David Avenetti, to finish first. She picked the one horse to finish second.
All across the state, and Chris got here and he told our presiding judge, he said, I found out I went one way and my driving colors were in a truck headed a different direction this evening. So we can certainly understand and sympathize. The judge understood and waived the requirement given the special circumstances, and Chris Brown will wear his warm-up colors for this upcoming race. Yeah, that is definitely a glass houses situation. A lot of us are getting situations where we get on the road and we're headed somewhere, and only when it's too late do we realize that we don't have the belt we need or the shoes we need, in this case the driving colors that Chris needed. So totally understandable. It is a busy, busy summer. Main thing is we're glad he's here. Glad to have you with us, folks, as we get ready for the third race. This is the final division of that Barney Colvin Memorial, so a reminder, the blanket will go to the connections of the horse posting the fastest winning mile. 2:07 right now stands as the fastest mile so far, the faster mile, I should say, if our English and grammar teachers are in attendance, the faster mile of the first two races tonight, but ultimately it will be the fastest of the three divisions combined. Well, let's meet the starters for this third race. Number one, Bapa's Old Fashioned, owned by Little Bapa LLC of Auburn, California, out in the old California Gold Rush area. Trained by Kevin Miller and the driver, Marcus Detweiler. Number two, Matt Session, owned and trained by David Avenetti of Chrisman, and the driver is Wyatt Avenetti. Number three, Bold Victor, owned by the Flacco family farms of Alexis of Dr. Richard and Arlene Flacco and Rick and Tabby Flacco, co-owned by the trainer Jill Brown of Charleston. Her husband, Chris Brown, is in the race bike. And number four, it's Major Carl Bombay, owned by Jacob Radel of Edgewood, trained and driven by Cornelius Cabot.
All right, David, I have to go in. I've got the wrong horses up on the screen, so I've got to go back into see if I can change that. For some reason, race one ended up in race three.
I have no idea.
And I have no idea how that happened. So I'll try to make the change here, folks.
You're fine. I threw Scott up on the air there. Scott was picking the two-horse Matt Session. And, he mentions knowing David and Wyatt there. That family should know that horse. I think they trained a full sister to that thing last year out of that Obsession mare by Liz Mara. So they should know that, that family and its tendencies. I got to look for that horse to start improving as the year comes along.
At the post, and the gate is rolling for the third of our 12 races here this evening. Thanks to our friends at Horizon Health EMS. They are standing by. Can't race unless the ambulance and crew are present, so thanks to everyone from Horizon Health EMS. Fields up on the north end of the course. This historic racetrack, decade after decade of great racing having taken place over this half-mile dirt oval. Here they come, third race. They are off and pacing. There goes Bold Victor. That's the colt we talked about that led the Big Ten standings for the 2-year-old colt and gelding pace coming into tonight's races, and he goes right out for the early lead. Bold Victor goes to the front, guides the field around the south turn. Matt Session comes away in the second position by just a length. It's Major Carl Bombay is third, and Bapa's Old Fashion is last of the four as they head off the first turn and up the back straightaway. Bold Victor is the leader. Bold Victor is on top by just over a length with Matt Session right behind him in the second position. It's Major Carl Bombay and Bapa's Old Fashion complete the field. Nose to tail they go, headed up to the north end of the course. And at the front end, Bold Victor the leader. 35 seconds, so a leisurely pace for the opening quarter, but no one has come forward as yet to pressure the leader, so as a result, it's a controlled tempo for Bold Victor, who now starts to let it out a notch and opens up by a couple of lengths after 3/8 of a mile. Matt's Session is right behind the leader in the second position, gap of 2 more lengths to its Major Carl Bombay, and here comes Bapa's Old Fashion with 18-year-old Marcus Detweiler out of Sullivan, moving up on the outside from 4th into 3rd, just 2 lengths off the lead as they head on past the half-mile mark. Bold Victor is still the leader. 1:10 flat for the first half mile. 1:10 flat. So evenly rated quarters of 35 seconds apiece, and they head over to the backstretch one more time here in this third race, the final division of the Barney Colvin Memorial. Here comes Bapa's Old Fashion. It is Bapa's Old Fashion moving up on the outside, less than a length off the leader, Bold Victor. Bold Victor still leads it, though, 3/4 of a length, and then Bapa's Old Fashion second on the outside, the same margin. Matt Session third, a length and a half. It's Major Carl Bombay is last of the four as they head on to the final turn. So Bold Victor, 141 and 2, the time at the 3/4, 141 and 2. Bold Victor is the leader. Bapa's Old Fashion is stalled out for the moment, still in the second position. Let's see what Bapa's Old Fashion can do now that they move off the final turn. Coming on the outside, and here's Matt Session. Matt Session has room to the inside. Bapa's Old Fashion on the grandstand side. Matt Session to the inside. Bapa's Old Fashion wins it by a neck. Bapa's Old Fashion by a neck over Matt Session. Bapa's Old Fashion had to go the long way around that north turn, was parked outward from the inside lane, but once they got into the stretch, he set sail on the far outside, and at the same time, Matt Session came up the inside, but Bapa's Old Fashion is the winner. 2:12 and 4, the time for the 1 mile distance, 2:12 and 4/5 of a second. We'll meet the winner, Bapa's Old Fashion, in a moment.
All right, David, another good race, a close race there.
Yeah.
And it comes out 1, 2, 3, 4. And so guess what? 1, 2, 3. Guess what?
I need to box my...
Guess who
What?
trifected that?
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
Oh, that's
1,
right.
2, 3.
And I mixed up the... Yeah, you did, didn't you? See,
Yeah,
you guys are
you
using
got
that.
the one. You got the one.
I had the 3 in the wrong order. I used the 1 for the winner, and I had the second and third mixed up. But,
Yeah.
you know, hats off to picking Matt Session. That was a good mile by that colt. You know, White did a great job staying patient there and had to kind of weave in and out of traffic, but made it a close race. Sometimes, you know, you think that more horses is going to be a better race, but a 4-horse race, and we had all the excitement and a great finish there.
Everybody was within what?
On top.
This reminder that the 2:07 time from tonight's first race, that will hold as the fastest of the first 3 races tonight. So the connections of RK's Mac will take the Barney Colvin Memorial blanket with the fastest mile from these first 3 races, all for the 2-year-old pace. Bapa's Old Fashion, with this score, will leave here tonight with 10 points in the Big Ten standings. So a reset of the Big Ten standings in the 2-year-old colt and gelding pace. Bold Victor still leads with 13. Bapa's Old Fashion and Fort Perry are tied for second with 10 points apiece. Still a long way to go, though. The Big Ten season doesn't wrap up until Labor Day weekend at the Pana Tri-County Fair. Well, we mentioned Marcus Detweiler comes to us out of Sullivan. He's 18 years of age. He's in his first season as a licensed harness horse driver. He made his first drive at the Macon County Fair in early June, and he got his first win driving this very horse June 30th at the Schuyler County Fair in Rushville. Hoping to make a career as a horseman, how about a hand for 18-year-old Marcus Detweiler? And congratulations to trainer Kevin Miller And also to the owner, Little Bapa LLC of Auburn, California, a homebred for that partnership, Fort Knox the sire. So back-to-back winners trained by Kevin Miller on the card, and back-to-back winners by sire Fort Knox. As our Fair Queen Aubrey Lawson and our Little Miss Ellie Krieger congratulate our winning connections trackside for this division of the Big Ten 2-year-old Colt and Gelding Pace. 2 wins in 4 starts now for Bapa's Old Fashioned. Marcus Detweiler in the red and black driving colors picks up the winning drive with that big move down the stretch on the far outside. Congratulations to our winning connections. Here is the full field rundown, and it is official for the 3rd race. From the top, Bapa's Old Fashioned was the winner. Matt Session, the runner-up. Bold Victor finished 3, and its Major Carl Bombay finished 4. The quarter, 35 flat. The first half mile in 1:10. 3/4, 1:41 and 2, and the mile 2:12 and 4/5 of a second. Last quarter in 31 and 2. Last half in 1:02 and 4. Reads down 1-2, 3-4. 4th race is on the way. A reminder is a scratch, and the driver of the 2, Battle Shoe Honey, is Freddie Patton Jr. Number 2, Battle Shoe Honey, the driver, Freddie Patton Jr. Horsemen, come to the track, please. Race 4.
Yoder Custom Woodworking was started in 1995 by the Yoder family as a retail Amish furniture store in Sullivan, Illinois. They offer custom kitchen cabinets, granite and quartz countertops, built-in office and bathroom cabinetry, and offer a wide range of Amish furniture. Their store is located at 1117 West Jackson Street in Sullivan, Illinois, with store hours Tuesday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturday 9 to 3. For more information, contact Yoder Custom Woodworking at 217-728-2166.
Own a little and love it a lot. TheStable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. TheStable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at TheStable.ca.
Good to have Don and John Longfellow trackside, the Longfellow Farm blanket for the 2-year-old Trot in the Illinois Big Ten. This evening, same policy, since there is a filly division and also a Colt and Gelding division. The Longfellow Farm blanket will go to the winner posting the faster winning mile of these 2 divisions. Congratulations to everybody at Longfellow Farm, because they have bred the winner of the Downstate Classic this year. Peekaboo Sal won the Downstate Classic in June at the Macon County Fair at Decatur. And, of course, the Longfellow family, they have a background with show horses, roadsters. The late Frosty Longfellow, Don's father, who went all the way to the Hall of Fame because of his skills. And the Longfellow family has been breeding champion standardbreds in Illinois for well over 50 years now. So always a pleasure to welcome the Longfellow family back to their home fair here in Christman County, or Edgar County, as they are based in nearby Christman. 4th race coming up.
Make plans now to attend the 25th Annual Illini Classic Yearling Sale on Labor Day at the Illinois State Fairgrounds in Springfield. Established in 1999, the Illini Classic has been producing champions for a quarter century, including reigning Illinois divisional champions On Higher Ground and Scorecard Dandy. It's the Illini Classic Yearling Sale, Monday, September 2nd at the Illinois State Fairgrounds in Springfield, beginning at 11 a.m. Central. Come join us and finish the summer strong.
Wait, before you go and get your snacks and drinks, make sure to subscribe and like to Harness Tube. If you can't do that, just give us a thumbs up. Alright, to the show.
To the show, David.
To the show.
As we get ready to go here, I'm going to make some changes in this race 4. 7 horses in this race. And if you want to talk
Well,
about the
we've got-
picks or you talk about the chat.
We've got a scratch, so there's only going to be 6 in there. But, yeah, a full field of 7 was carded for this race today. We do have a couple chats coming in. I'll go ahead and throw those up. We were talking about, or I should say, Kurt was talking about Marcus Detweiler and all of his accomplishments in his young career. And when this loads, I'll get some chats coming in to the YouTube chat that were really kind of touting Marcus's abilities. If I can get them pulled up over here. Stan Swisher jumps in and mentions that Marcus is going to be something, and people should take note. And I think we all kind of agree that, he's from down around this area, seen Marcus kind of train a little bit longer out of the Kevin Miller barn. But this kid's got a future. I think everyone's kind of noticing it now, watching him patiently drive these horses. I think Scott jumps in here and says, "Nice steer, Marcus." It's kind of cool to see these up-and-coming drivers. And I tell you what, there was years when we didn't see young drivers, and now this year we've got Marcus Detweiler, we've got Jaquavion Carter. I'm trying to think who else. I think tomorrow we have the Prather boys making their first start. They were supposed to make their first start at Petersburg, but got rained out. But you'll see Cole and Connor Prather making their first drive. But it's nice to see young drivers, taking an interest and kind of jumping in the seat and biting the bullet and doing it. There's not enough people getting into the sport. To see some young faces is always a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you talk about the young man, let's see, Marcus Detweiler.
Detweiler, yeah.
Tell you what, he's got the $1 million smile to go with it, too. and he reminds me of the Miller that drove several years ago.
Marcus. I'm sure Marcus will take a big compliment to that because Marcus Miller is, I think what you're pointing to is Marcus Miller has always been a good PR man. When he used to come to Mount Sterling, he would bring silicone bracelets with his name. Marcus Miller Racing would toss him out in the crowd after winning a race. Just small
In this
stuff like
fourth
that.
race, please note the driver of the 5, Astrid, is Matt Avenatti. In this fourth race, the driver of the 5, Astrid, is Matt Avenatti, and the horses are on the track for race 4. Fourth race tonight will include Betting on You, number 3, who is way out in front of the point standings for the Big Ten 2-year-old filly Trot. Already 17 points on the season, more than double the next closest competitor. Let's meet the starters for the fourth race, the Illinois Big Ten 2-year-old filly Trot, for a purse of just over $4,400 as the horses begin to gather over on the north turn. Number 1 is Shady Maple Becky, owned by Wyatt Lane and David Avenatti of Crispin, trained by David Avenatti, the driver Wyatt Avenatti. 2, Battle Shoe Honey, owned and trained by Clay Simpson of Fairfield. Freddie Patton Jr. is the driver. Number 3, Betting on You, owned by Larry Longnecker of Sumner, Darla Martin Lohman, the trainer-driver. Number 4, Exhibition is scratched. Number 5 is Astrid, owned by Earl Avenatti of Clinton, Indiana. Malda Horn of Clinton, Indiana, trained by Earl Avenatti, and the driver will be his grandson, Matt Avenatti. Number 6, Oh Was She Name, owned and trained by Roshan Trigg of Brandon, Mississippi, the driver Michael Cox. And number 7, Classy Little Lady, owned, trained, and driven by Jerry Mims, who comes to us out of Vardaman, Mississippi. Number 3, Betting on You. We mentioned the fact that filly is atop the point standings in the 2-year-old filly Trot for the Big Ten, but she did sustain a loss at the Wayne County Fair at Fairfield. She finished runner-up behind the 6, Oh Was She Name. So we get a rematch this evening between the 3 and the 6. Who knows, it could be somebody else that wins this race. Should be a competitive event headed to the gate, race 4.
Okay, David, one of the things we'll talk about, you and Lisa pick, of course, Betting on You. 3, I think all 3 of us picked the 3 horse, the 7 horse to finish second, as in Classy Little Lady. You and Lisa went with the 1 horse, Shady Maple Becky. I went with the 5 horse, Astrid, now driven by Matt Avenatti.
It's a pick your Avenatti for the third place, I think. We went with the 1 horse owned by Wyatt and Lane and David and trained by David and driven by Wyatt. And then you went with the 5, which is trained by Earl and owned by Earl. So it's an Avenatti clan up top to bottom here.
As they get ready to go to the gate, we'll turn it back over to Kurt Becker as they get ready to start here.
at the post, gates rolling. Here they come, the Illinois Big Ten 2-year-old filly Trot, the Longfellow Farms race for freshman trotters. Classy little lady, several lengths off the gate at the start, and there goes Battle Shoe Honey out for the early lead, as they are often trotting here in the 4th race. Betting on You gets away in good order, right to the outside of the early leader as they head down into the first turn. So the top two go side by side, although Betting on You now backs off the throttle and finds a spot to drop over to the inside lane and follow Battle Shoe Honey, who leads off the first turn for the move headed up the back stretch. And then Astrid, who has settled into a good position, third, but she's off stride. Astrid made a break, quickly recovered. Now Betting on You, the point leader's off stride. Betting on You has broken stride. Astrid moves by to second. Betting on You third. 35 seconds for the opening quarter. 35 seconds flat. She Name is in fourth, and she is racing some 15 lengths off the lead. Then there's a gap of 5 more lengths back to Classy Little Lady and Shady Maple Becky, who is last of the 6 after 3/8 of a mile. So Battle Shoe Honey made the top immediately at the start. She has not relinquished the lead. In fact, she's opened up by nearly 3 lengths halfway home here in the Longfellow Farms Big Ten 2-year-old filly Trot. Astrid is second, a length and a half, and Betting on You is third by 5. 108 flat for the first half mile. 108 flat. And then She Name. Now she's in fourth position. She was 15 lengths from the lead. Now she's 8 lengths from the lead after 5/8 of a mile. Then there is a gap of another 7 lengths back to Shady Maple Becky, who moves up 1 spot around Classy Little Lady, who is last. Here comes Betting on You. The point leader is on the move from third to second up to challenge Battle Shoe Honey for the lead. Battle Shoe Honey Betting on You, and here comes She Name. This is about to develop into a 3-way battle for the lead as they head on to the final turn. She Name will have to go to the far outside. She's still third. 1:41 the time at the 3/4, 1:41. Betting on You is still second. They've all got to catch Battle Shoe Honey. Battle Shoe Honey is still the leader coming into the stretch. Betting on You comes at her again. She Name is third. Astrid is fourth. Betting on You between horses for a narrow lead and deep stretch. She Name is coming on from the outside. Betting on You wins it. Betting on You by a head over She Name in second. Battle Shoe Honey was third. Astrid was fourth. Shady Maple Becky was fifth. And Classy Little Lady was across the line in sixth. 2:14 flat was the time for the 1 mile distance. 2:14 flat. Betting on You, who had that break in stride going up the backstretch to the quarter, managed to recover from that and unofficially prevails here by a head for the win in this Longfellow Farms race.
Wow, some excitement in that race, David.
Not the kind of the horsemen want. You don't like to see horses make a break, but it does create for some chaos out there. And Darla got it back trotting and hit the trot and just got there by a long neck, we'll say.
That's what makes it interesting for the fans out there. Horsemen don't like that, but fans absolutely love it, David.
Oh, I understand. You know, it's the least predictable it is, the more fun. It's kind of fun to see those kind of flyers or long shots come in and hear the people cheering for them and whatnot. You know, everyone expects the winners to win, but when someone comes across from a long shot, it's always a little bit more fun.
Absolutely. As we get those unofficial results up there for
They're still
you.
coming back to the winner's circle here.
As they're coming back, Kurt Becker will be back with you in a minute as we take a look at the horses here. The 3-horse was picked by all 3.
We all grabbed the 3. We all jumped over, you know, the 6-horse, though. And I looked at that horse really close. I remember that horse.
Well, we talked about the fact that Betting on You came in with 17 points to lead the Big Ten 2-year-old filly Trot standings, and she will pad that lead, picks up 5 points, and recovers from a mistake early in the race, bounces back after breaking stride. She will win this division of the Longfellow Farms race, and she will also win the silver tray that annually goes to the winner of the Dale Adams Memorial Race at the Edgar County Fair. How about a hand for number 3, Betting on You? Betting on You is owned by Larry Longnecker of Sumner, who walks at the head of this horse. And the trainer-driver, Darla Martin-Lohman, an Indiana native who now makes her home in Effingham, Illinois. Don and John Longfellow trackside. Always great to see the Longfellow Farms team. And our queen is trackside. Good to have our little miss with us as well. And in just a moment, members of the family of Dale Adams will present the Dale Adams Memorial Trophy to these same connections. 2:14, the time for the mile. Betting on You is a 2-year-old daughter of Lindy's True Grit out of Betcha by Cash Hall, bred in Tuscola by the Double K Acres of the Chupp family. Jane Adams says hello to Larry Longnecker and tells him to hang on. You've got another trophy coming here. So everybody moves back in. Good to have Jane and Brad and members of the family of the late Dale Adams to remember Dale and present this trophy. Of course, Dale was a banker by trade and was someone who was a harness racing official and owner and enthusiast. Campaigned a great stable of horses as an owner along with wife Jane over the years. Jane offers her congratulations to winning owner Larry Longnecker, and there's the winner of race 4, Betting on You, 3rd win in 6 career starts, Darla Martin-Lohman. Here is the full field rundown for the 4th race, and it is official. From the top, Shady Maple Becky finished 5. Battle Shoe Honey 3, Betting on You, the winner. Exhibition was scratched. Astrid finished 4. Oh Washi Name was the runner-up. Classy Little Lady was 6. They got the opening quarter in 35 seconds. The first half mile was 1:08. 3/4, 1:41. The time for the mile, 2:14 flat. Again, 35, 1:08, 1:41, 2:14 flat. Reads down 5:31, scratch 4:26. Checking the updated Big Ten standings after that race in the 2-year-old filly Trot.
Pine Ridge Mobile Home Transport is the go-to mobile home transportation company. We provide top-notch services including moving, block and leveling, and even demolitions with a quick turnaround time. If you're looking to move or get rid of your mobile home, Pine Ridge is the company to call. We now have dumpsters available for rent at competitive rates. Contact Wayne at 217-313-9744 or find us on Facebook.
Timewell Drainage Products is a locally owned family company that has provided incredible employment opportunities in our area for over 40 years. Our constantly growing company is always looking for dynamic individuals who want to be part of an innovative, fast-paced team. To join our team, visit us online at timewellpipe.com. Timewell Drainage Products, a proud community employer since 1982.
All right, David, as we get ready for this, another driver change in race 11 will be Richard Finn driving the 1 horse, I believe is what he said here. Yes, it is. Double park. That's going to be a change there for that race. As we get ready to go here for race 5, as we're not quite halfway through. 5 horses in this race. We have no Clay Simpson. I've got to get that driver change in there in this race. But you want to talk about some of our picks here?
Sure. Looking at race 5 here, I went ahead and picked the 5, 2, 3 trifecta. So on top, I went to the 5 Hopes de V. That horse is off of 2 wins and a second in the last 3 starts. It's kind of hard to overlook that. Someone who's consistent, knows how to win, had to use that horse on top. My second choice, I went to the 2. It's Monkey C. A horse that's made 3 starts and never finished. It has 3 starts and 3/3. You've got to use them somewhere in your ticket. I think from the inside track, maybe Boo will get a nice trip here and get up for second. And for my third choice, I went to the 3, Fox Valley Victor. This is one of Junior Patton's horses that's kind of been coming along all year long. Got a win already at Decatur, made 7 starts. Now looking at you guys, between Steve and Lisa, Steve went 5-2-3, just like myself.
Looking ahead to race 12, here's a late driver change in the 12th race. Number 1, Grand Ole Party, the driver Wyatt Avenatti. 12th race, number 1, Grand Ole Party. Make the driver Wyatt Avenatti. Talked about the fact that the Edgar County Fair continues throughout the week. The Barnyard Scramble coming up tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Tuesday is Democrat Day at the fair. Wednesday is Republican Day. The Junkyard Autocross at 6:30 Wednesday evening. Thursday, the ATV Big Air Show. Some gravity-defying jumps. Should be an entertaining program Thursday at 7 p.m. Friday, the tractor and truck pull at 6:30, and then Saturday, the Demolition Derby, 6 p.m. And a reminder, Connor Family Amusements on the grounds all week. Free admission to the grounds throughout the week as well. Edgar County Fair celebrating its 162nd edition.
Let's get Lisa's pick in here while we got Kurt off the microphone. She went 5-1-2. So we all went to Hopes to be on top, but Lisa went to Lose Fortitude out of the Jill Brown barn up for second, and finishing third was using It's Monkey C like the rest of us. I'll give you your picks back if you want.
All right.
I got a message here from Randy Rigg, and I don't know if Kurt announced it when we had the volume down or what happened, but it sounds like the Illini Classic sale books are going to be out tomorrow or here pretty soon. So if you're a horseman who wants to go to one of those sales, the Illini Classic books should be out pretty soon. Keep your eyes peeled for them. They're usually in the barn area. If not at the state fairgrounds, you can find them before then, typically at a fair, or get a hold of Kurt or Ed or somebody.
And if you really want to get deeper into it, Lisa and I wanted to go up to that last year on Labor Day and weren't able to do so.
Right.
But get to a horse auction. Get to those things. We talk about during the fairs, going back to the horse barns, or if you've got a trainer at your local track, go to the horse barn. Get familiar with them.
Absolutely.
Introduce yourself to them. They love to talk to people. But when you go to a sale, you get an idea what the investment is in some of these horses out there. And you can find that information online. But I tell you what,
unless you're sitting there in person to get the, see those hands go up in the air and start bidding at $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, it kind of gets real. But yeah, come out to a sale. I've always been a huge fan of the sales. I grew up working them and going to them. It's an interesting experience. You get to see these babies, and the horseman will inspect them. So they'll pull them out of the stall and into the aisle. It might have them walk up and down the aisle, look at conformation, look at their legs, and look at their mannerisms and whatnot. It's a really interesting...
Waiting on number 4, Denny Lou, and then we'll be set to go with race 5.
An interesting opportunity to see up close and personal kind of what these animals and what the horsemen, the trainers, are looking for and what they're kind of thinking when they look at something.
Yeah, and you can say what you think a horse is worth, or it's a good-looking horse. And, to every trainer, a horse looks differently. They're looking for different qualities in the horse that they want to train, correct?
What really happens, it seems like, is the horses that are flawless and impeccably bred are going to go for a lot of money. We all know that. So every trainer tries to find what's the faults they can live with. Is it a horse maybe on the smaller size side that they're okay with letting it try to grow? Is it maybe a horse that's got some conformation issues that they're not really worried about? Maybe the horse wings out, the right front or something like that, whereas if you're going on a mile, wouldn't even interfere. But it's not a perfect conformation. So you have to find the faults that you can live with, that you can use, in your barn to get that horse to the races.
Yeah, and those traits are to that trainer. Yeah. That trainer's got a history with that.
Horses are on the track for race number 5, the Illinois Big Ten Colt Stakes 2-year-old colt and gelding trot, the second division of the Longfellow Farms race. So the time to beat is the 2:14, established in race 4 by betting on you in order to claim that blanket. Number 1 is Lose Fortitude, owned by Jill Brown of Charleston. She's the trainer. David Gingerich of Charlton, Iowa is the co-owner. Reminder, Clay Simpson is the driver for number 1. Number 2, it's Monkey C, owned by Jacob Radel of Edgewood, trained by Cornelius Cavett. Cornelius in the bike. 3, Fox Valley Victor, owned by Perry Tillman of Bolton, Mississippi, trained and driven by Freddie Patton Jr. 4, Denny Lou, owned by Dennis Gardner of West Salem, the trainer, Jill Brown, the driver, Chris Brown. And number 5, Hopes to Be, owned and trained by Roshan Trigg of Brandon, Mississippi, and the driver is Michael Cox. Hopes to Be with a big win a few weeks ago at the Schuyler County Fair at Rushville, winning by a margin of over 50 lengths. Hopes to Be, as far as the Big Ten standings, is tied for the lead in this 2-year-old Colt and Gelding Trot division. Hopes to Be with 9 points, likewise for Hidalgo Otis and Shady Maple Becker, but the other 2 are not here tonight. They will be racing, they're scheduled to race tomorrow evening in the Illini Stakes at the Champaign County Fair. So Hopes to Be has a chance here tonight to break that 3-way logjam atop the standings in the Big Ten 2-year-old Colt and Gelding Trot, capitalizing on the fact that the other 2 trotters did not make an appearance here tonight. There's Hopes to Be right now, number 5, going by the stands. Thanks once again to our presenting sponsors for harness racing at the Edgar County Fair, Beck Seed and Wayne Mars, Cargill, Crispin Farm Center, Cody Keys Trucking, our friends at Deep Holtz, also at Diamond Financial, First Neighbor Bank, Adams & Son, Gopher Pool, GSI, Illini FS, also Joe and Nyla Hassler Foundation.
Well, Kurt is going through the sponsors of the local fair here. David, any more chats or anything you want to share?
Yeah, we've been asking for people to throw in some of their favorite foods, and we had some people jump in, so let's go ahead and throw some of those up there. Scott, of course, in our chat, mentioned that his favorite fair food is an elephant ear, the powdered sugar and lemonade shake-up, and gotta love it. And I gotta agree there. I haven't had one in a long time.
That's a sugar blitz right there.
I haven't had one in a long time. It sounds really good right now. I would probably go cinnamon sugar, though.
Okay. All right.
Let's see who else we got in here.
Something about bruisers.
Yeah,
in
I'm
there.
trying to get to it down here. There we go. There's a vote for bruisers as their favorite fair food, or the Chuck Wagon in Rushville. Rushville has great food. I can't deny that. Between Mount Sterling's hot dog or the corn dog stand and the bruisers, we have some good food in the West Central Illinois. So,
all right, go back to Kurt.
The horsemen deeply appreciative, and it's just fantastic to see here at the Edgar County Fair. Right now at the post, gates rolling, race 5 lined up, ready to go. They are off and trotting, and there goes Fox Valley Victor, and there goes Hopes to Be. These 2 come out to contest the early lead. It's Monkey C gets away in 3rd. Denny Lou 4th up on the outside, and Lou's Fortitude is away last of the 5. As they enter the first turn, Fox Valley Victor off stride. Fox Valley Victor was contesting the lead, but then broke stride about midway on that south turn and now drops out to last. That means Hopes to Be is the leader. Hopes to Be has scooted up for the lead and opens up by 1.5 lengths now at the midpoint of the back straightaway. And then you've got It's Monkey C in 2nd position. Lou's Fortitude is 3rd, and Denny Lou a close 4th. But Fox Valley Victor still off stride, now gets back on the trot, but is 20 lengths off the leader and 15 lengths off the second last horse going past that quarter-mile mark. Hopes to Be is the leader. Hopes to Be is on top, opens up by 4 lengths now. 38 seconds for the opening quarter, 38 seconds. Hopes to Be leads after 3/8 of a mile with It's Monkey C in 2nd. 3.5 lengths separate the top 2, then a gap of 3 more lengths to Lou's Fortitude in 3rd, a margin of 5 more behind that one to Denny Lou, and a gap of 8 lengths from Denny Lou back to Fox Valley Victor, who is beginning to catch up with the rest of the field after a couple of breaks in stride in that opening quarter mile. Halfway home in race 5, this division of the Longfellow Farms race for Big Ten trotters. Hopes to Be is the leader. 1:15 flat was the time for the first half mile. 1:15 flat. Back to the south end of the course they go. Hopes to Be still leads. The lead is 2.5 lengths now. It's Monkey C is racing in 2nd by 1 length. The Lou's Fortitude in 3rd, and then a margin of another 4 lengths back to Denny Lou in 4th. And Fox Valley Victor is still trailing, and Fox Valley Victor is still nearly 20 lengths from the leader. Quarter mile to go. Hopes to Be with Michael Cox in the blue, gold, and tan colors leads at 1.5 lengths. It's Monkey C is still close enough, though, to make a challenge for the lead and for the win as they move on to the final turn. 1 minute 50 and 1/5 seconds. The time at the 3/4, 1 minute 50 and 1/5 seconds. Off the final turn, Hopes to V, the leader by 3 lengths. It's Monkey C is second by 7 lengths. Back to Lose Fortitude in third. Hopes to V, the leader, chased all the way by It's Monkey C, but Hopes to V is going to win this race and take this division of the Longfellow Farms Big Ten 2-year-old trot. Hopes to V, your winner, won it by 5 lengths on the line. It's Monkey C was second, another 12 to 15 lengths, then back to Lose Fortitude in third. 2:25 flat was the time for the 1 mile distance. 2:25 flat.
All right, David, pretty straightforward race with Hopes to V winning that race. Everybody picked that across the board in our picks.
Got the exacta, yeah.
And so 5-2-1. So David got the second. I got the second place horse. Elisa flip-flopped him. But nobody picked them in order. Or picked 1, 2, 3.
Really, yeah, I was reading the chats real quick. Yeah, I missed in the third place. I think Freddie run in the first turn and took him out of it. But, that doesn't take anything away from Clay. He had a good mile out there. Nice, solid mile. Just finished in third, clean up the pieces.
Absolutely, as we'll wait for Kurt for the finals on that race. We're not breaking any speed records here today.
No, we're not.
By the way, the folks at Longfellow Farms will soon be offering an Ohio sired yearling. Look for it soon at ongate.com. Ongate.com. The gang at Longfellow Farms, if you want a horse to look its absolute best when it heads into the sale ring, they are the folks to get the job done. That show horse background, I mean, it's amazing the knowledge they have of horses, how to fit them, how to prepare them, how to present them. And we have heard it for years from knowledgeable horsemen across the state that the Longfellow Standardbred Farm, they are absolutely the best of the best when it comes to horsemanship and knowing how to prepare a horse to look its absolute best at public auction. Now, this division of the Longfellow race goes to Hopes to V. The time was 2:25. So that means the blanket will actually go to the connections of Betting on You with that 2:14 mile in the 4th race. But nonetheless, Hopes to V has won, and there's the winning owner and trainer, Mr. Roshan Trigg. We told you this is a guy, he's got a lot of daughters to put through college. So Roshan, this helps. Winning races helps do that. How about a hand for number 5, Hopes to V? Merle Miller bred this 2-year-old gelded son of Strong Hope, who wins for the 3rd time in 7 starts and now takes an undisputed lead in the Big Ten standings. Will leave here with 14 points, 5 points to the good over the next closest competitor. Michael Cox, a native of Missouri who came to Illinois a number of years ago as a trainer and driver, makes his home now in Sherman, Illinois, just outside of our state capital. And Michael having a good summer, picking up a lot of wins on the fair circuit. Mike, always good to see you. Congratulations. Well done. Here's the full field rundown, and it is official for that 5th race. Lose Fortitude finished 3rd. It's Monkey C was the runner-up. Fox Valley Victor finished 5. Denny Lou finished 4. And Hopes to V the winner. The quarter, 38 flat. The half, 1:15. 3/4, 1:50 and 1/5. The time for the mile, 2:25 flat. Rates down, 3:25, 4:1. 6th race is on the way.
Woodworking was started in 1995 by the Yoder family as a retail Amish furniture store in Sullivan, Illinois. They offer custom kitchen cabinets, granite and quartz countertops, built-in office and bathroom cabinetry, and offer a wide range of Amish furniture. Their store is located at 1117 West Jackson Street in Sullivan, Illinois, with store hours Tuesday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturday 9 to 3. For more information, contact Yoder Custom Woodworking at 217-728-2166.
Own a little and love it a lot. Thestable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. Thestable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at thestable.ca.
All right, David, as we get ready to go here with the next race, again, want to thank our sponsors out there. And one coming up that's a kind of close one to your heart.
The Papa Deck one. They got, I love seeing those colors. It's just so cool. There's an idea that Jody reached out and wanted to do this, and I enjoy seeing that slide up on the screen. It just kind of warms your heart. Everyone who knew Papa Deck loved him, I think. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
15 seconds goes faster than you think, right?
I know, right?
As we get ready for race 6, as we're at the halfway mark, and guess what? They're moving things along really well.
They're not messing around, are they?
No.
I'm going to throw something up here.
Yeah.
Kurt, everyone knows how good Kurt is, but he mentions, with Leanne up there, all the point systems and all these different fair circuits, and Leanne does a great job keeping in those stats. And Kurt announced that Hidalgo Otis was in the top 10 running, or for the Big Ten running for his division. So it's cool to have, people like Kurt and Leanne helping us out, keeping those stats, keeping those details for us, because, to the owners, to the horsemen, it does mean a lot to be recognized.
Okay, as we get ready here, as we're looking at our picks real quick, every one of us picked the 6-horse, G.J. Lindegrit, to win this. A Darla Lohman horse, doing really well this year. Seconds and first, mostly. I got a 6th and a 5th in there. That's going to happen. You never can tell when a horse is going to have a bad day.
Well, if you remove those 2 starts and look at the rest of the starts for this year, this horse has made 8 starts, 2 wins, 3 seconds, and a third. So that's 6 times hitting the board out of 8 starts. So those are the only 2,
and those were Springfield and DeCoy.
Yeah, those are the only 2, blips on the radar missing the board were those 2 miles. So I think we all have to use that horse, just too consistent at these fairs.
Absolutely. And then second place horse, everybody picked different. David, you went with True Fortune. Matt Avanetti driving that horse, a Leroy Hunt horse for second. I went with the 2-horse, Hocus Pocus and Focus. I like that horse.
It was tough for me to overlook that horse, but, with Matt having the rail at his home fair, that horse has been super sharp, True Fortune. I had to use him on top or as a second choice. And Hocus Pocus and Focus, that's one of our sentimental favorites. I got to throw him in the ticket somewhere, so I put her third.
And then Lisa went different than both of us. Mississippi Model, the Jerome Daniels horse. She likes the last performance at the Henry County Fair.
And that's the horse I usually throw in my trifecta ticket because Jerome's so good about staying consistent and, picking up those third-place checks or whatever he needs to do. Just this race is too tough, to be honest, between G.J. Lindegrit, True Fortune, Hocus Pocus and Focus, Mississippi Model. Luz Esmeralda, has a win this year. This really could be anyone's race.
Yeah, you and I have the same horses in the box.
Yeah, we just shuffled them around.
Shuffled around a little bit. Lisa has 2 of the 3, but threw in the Mississippi Model there in the second place, and we'll see what happens. Occasionally, when that happens, you and I go one way, and she goes one horse the other way. Something happens, and she
and that's the one where she
gets a trifecta on that. So, again, a shout-out to my wife. She does a great job. And, folks, if you've noticed the obstacles here at this fair that we have to go through, we looked at putting David on a second camera today, and there's just no good place for a second camera.
There was nothing where we gained enough view that justified taking off broadcast because we could have stuck a camera on the back stretch and kind of gotten that dead spot coming out of the second turn. But then I'm standing out in the grass by myself, and Steve's in here on his own. It just kind of makes things a little harder. So, we think that if your eye follows the field through the tents and campers, you can pick them up in the gaps and kind of fill in the gaps with your mind, I think.
Yeah, and there'll be occasions after we did it at Farmer City where we'll use that second camera, but in that case, it'll be a forethought thing. I know somebody talked about Lincoln on Sunday, but unfortunately, David's not going to be there, I don't think, on Sunday.
I won't be there. Monday, I will be. So, I need to call somebody maybe to fill in for me, but we'll get, that's on me.
We'll figure it out. But at any rate, personnel, we got to be able to do it personnel-wise, and we've got to be able to put a quality broadcast out there. Unfortunately, every fair we go to, there's not a fair that there is not some obstacle of some sort. And
just
guess
when
what?
you think you get them all licked, the power starts dropping out, or you have to start running cords elsewhere. I mean, it's always something. But the views are what they are. The real estate's a premium, so fairs like this place are going to use that infield space, for activities, for parking, for events, and we can't blame them at all.
Oh, absolutely
we
not.
have to do what we have to do to shoot around them,
But that's what you're seeing from the stands is what the people are seeing from the stands.
Yeah, it's a. 100 years ago, when you sat in the grandstands, there would be nothing in the infield. It'd be a perfect view of the whole track. Well, with today's, fair activities, there's a lot more going on these tracks, and the horsemen don't have top billing anymore, so we have to share, our facilities, and that's great. That's okay. We love to be, involved in these fairs, and it is what it is.
And you have to have the revenue to keep the fairs going.
Without
the fairs going, we have no place to race.
We're sitting here in this brand new judges stand. You can see on the screen. This is a brand new facility, air conditioned. It's so nice. But if I remember right, I think they're having Scotty McCreery play tomorrow night or something, or maybe coming up. So they bring in the big acts. When those big acts come through a fair,
I think it was last night because they were talking that my good buddy David Mason of Mason Sound was here last night for that.
It's those big concerts when you can start getting those tickets at $20-$30 a pop. There they are. It just adds up so much. So
you can't see us. We're in that bottom window, folks. David, you can see David's hand waving out there as we're in that bottom window.
She's zooming on us?
Yeah, she's zooming in. She can see part of you. They can't see any part of me, I don't think. But there they are. You see my hand out there. And we got a watcher from Wisconsin.
Yeah, Steve Allender's watching from Wisconsin. We want to thank him for tuning in. We appreciate you following us along. She's looking at all of our secrets over there now, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. But she's over there listening. We want to thank Lisa. She does a bang-up job doing what she can and getting the best view she can get.
The Edgar County Community Foundation, the presenting sponsor for the Big Ten 3-year-old Trot. Race 6, the Filly Division. No scratches, no driver changes. Let's meet the starters. Number 1, True Fortune, owned by Milton Greer of Jackson, Tennessee. The trainer, Leroy Hunt. Matt Avenatti, the driver. 2, Hocus Pocus and Focus, owned by Ron Phillips of Athens, Illinois. Jamaica Patton of Rochester, Jamaica Patton, the trainer driver. 3, Mississippi Model, owned, trained, and driven by Mississippi native and now Springfield, Illinois resident Jerome Daniels. 4, Luz Esmeralda, owned by the Flacco Family Farms of Alexis, trained by Jill Brown, the driver, Chris Brown. 5 is Hope Starlene, owned by Roshan Trigg of Brandon, Mississippi. He's the trainer, and Freddie Patton Jr. is on the bike. 6 is GJ Linda Grit, owned by Larry Longnecker of Sumner and co-owned by the trainer-driver Darla Martin Lohman of Effingham. Number 6, GJ Linda Grit was a big winner here 1 year ago, winning by 13 lengths over this racetrack. But she's in a pretty tight points battle right now for the Big Ten 3-year-old filly trot division. Coming into this evening's race in that 3-year-old filly trot, True Fortune actually leads the points by 1 tally. 15 points for True Fortune, 14 for GJ Linda Grit. We'll see what happens here this evening and see if those standings change, stay the same. Who knows, maybe someone else pops up and grabs a win and ascends up those point standings. Headed to the gate, race 6.
All right, David, let's talk for a second. One of the things I noticed here on the sheet, you look at Luz Esmeralda, Jill Brown, trained horse, Chris Brown, trained horse. And we have seen this in other horses. They do fantastic as a 2-year-old, and then the others catch up with them at the 3-year-old stage.
Every horse matures at different rates, Even Hocus Pocus and Focus was kind of untouchable at these fairs last year. We've seen her race, and she's mortal,
Yes.
She's still a good horse, but she's not just the best. So, these horses grow into their bodies. Some horses are come down quicker. The horses that go down south to Mississippi have a head start. They don't have to deal with the winter months up here where we can't get on the tracks to break these babies. So every horse gets ready in its own time.
At the post, and the gate is rolling for race number 6 in your scorecard as we reach the midway point on this evening's harness racing program. The Edgar County Community Foundation, visit them on Facebook or at edgarcountyfoundation.org. Seeking solutions for the future, finding strength and unity, and building a steadfast tomorrow for a good forever for Edgar County, a place to call home. Gates rolling, 6th race, top of the stretch, ready to go.
I'm going to turn that down. Bring that up.
They're off and trotting, and there goes True Fortune out for the lead. Hope Starlene has some early speed. Hocus Pocus and Focus off stride. Hocus Pocus and Focus on a break. Drops out to the back of the pack as they head onto the south turn. True Fortune the leader. GJ Linda Grit moves up right behind the leader. A close second, just a length off the lead. A gap of 3 lengths to Mississippi Model, who's in third. Then a margin of 5 more lengths behind that one to Luz Esmeralda, who's in the 4th position. Hocus Pocus and Focus is at the back of the pack. Moves up one spot now next to last as Hope Starlene is the trailer. Here comes a challenge for the lead. GJ Linda Grit moves up on the outside. 31-3 for the opening quarter. Good solid opening panel for these 3-year-old trotting fannels. GJ Linda Grit is off stride. GJ Linda Grit breaks stride on the north turn. She was challenging for the lead, and she was challenging her arch rival in the Big Ten standings, True Fortune. So that leaves True Fortune with a 9-length lead as they're halfway home in race 6. But GJ Linda Grit, don't count her out just yet. She's trying to catch up to the leader, and she's cutting into the deficit. It's down from 9 lengths to 5 to 4 lengths now. 102 flat for the first half mile, 102. GJ Linda Grit puts herself right back into the picture to challenge for the victory. But it is True Fortune who leads at a length. GJ Linda Grit second by 5 lengths. Mississippi Model is racing in third. Then a gap of 3 to Luz Esmeralda in fourth. Hocus Pocus and Focus is fifth up on the outside, and Hope Starlene is the distant trailer as they head up the backstretch and approach the 3/4 mile mark. True Fortune leads. True Fortune is the leader by just 1 length, a quarter mile to go. GJ Linda Grit is second. 135 at the 3/4, 135. So the 2 fillies who are, oh my goodness, would you believe it? GJ Linda Grit has broken stride again. GJ Linda Grit. We just started to say that the 2 fillies at front the field are the 2 fillies who are vying for the points lead in the Big Ten. But GJ Linda Grit breaking stride both times on the north turn, and that means True Fortune will trot on home from there uncontested for Matt Avenatti in the race bike. True Fortune wins it by 8 lengths. Now, GJ Linda Grit, give her credit, despite breaking stride twice, came back to be second. Mississippi Model was home third, and then further back, Luz Esmeralda was fourth. Hocus Pocus and Focus was fifth, and Hope Starlene was sixth. 2:08 flat was the time for the 1 mile distance. 2:08 flat. Your winner, number 1, True Fortune.
All right, David. A different race than we all thought there. GJ Linda Grit broke stride twice there.
A couple times, yeah.
And again.
And Hocus Pocus and Focus.
Yes.
All my picks made a break there except for the winner.
Yeah, and so let's see. Did anybody? Let's see. 163. Guess what?
No one got
Not
it.
a single one of us got a single.
Mr. Leroy Hunt coming trackside. He is our winning trainer. He trains True Fortune for his good friend Milton Greer of Jackson, Tennessee. Kenneth Chupp is the breeder of True Fortune, so 2 wins tonight for the Chupp family as breeder. True Fortune is a 3-year-old filly by Lindy's True Grit out of Heather Nan by Fortune 500. This filly a winner for the 5th time in her career. Earlier tonight, we saw Wyatt Avenatti in the winner's circle and his brother, Matt Avenatti. Picks up the winning drive here. And here we are now. How about a hand for Matt with True Fortune? The Edgar County Community Foundation blanket will go to the 3-year-old trotter posting the faster winning mile from races 6 and 7 tonight. 2:08 is the standard because that's the time for True Fortune winning here in this Philly division. Thanks again to the Edgar County Community Foundation. Visit them on Facebook or at edgarcountyfoundation.org. For good, forever, for Edgar County, a place to call home as they offer their congratulations to our winning connections. We talked to David Avenatti yesterday evening by phone, and he told us that Matt, his son Matt, is a young man who was very much focused on wanting to become a horseman from a young age, and it has worked out well. Matt Avenatti in the winner's circle. Congratulations, Matt.
All right, David, any
talked about it earlier. No fewer than 6 members of the Avenatti family have won as drivers at this Edgar County Fair. Just amazing. Earl, David, Earl Jr., Lisa, Matt, and Wyatt, all with the name Avenatti going to the winner's circle here at one point or another over the years. Here's the full field rundown for race 6. It is official for the 6th race. True Fortune was indeed the winner. Hocus Pocus and Focus finished 5. Mississippi Model 3. Luz Esmeralda 4. Hope Starlene was 6. And GJ Linda Grit, the runner-up. 31 and 3 at the quarter, 102 at the half, 3/4 and 135 at the time for the mile, 2:08 flat. Reads down 153.462. So checking the updated 3-year-old filly trot point standings for the Big Ten.
I have been interested in truck driving my whole life. I've been fascinated with the big rig since I was a kid. But after college, I got into business on the marketing side of things, kind of shelved the dream. 30 years later, I quit my job, signed up for truck driving school. It was exciting from the get-go. Dot recruited out of my truck driving school. The job was everything I was hoping it would be, and then some. My weeks absolutely fly by. When my life needed fulfillment, I took the wheel.
Located in the beautiful countryside of Brown County, Rolling Greens is one of the most beautiful 18-hole championship golf courses in West Central Illinois. The golf course offers Monday unlimited play for just $27. Ladies' Day on Tuesday and Senior Day is Wednesday. Play 18 holes with a cart and get a hot dog and chips for $28. Rolling Greens memberships are inexpensive and include free range balls, discounted league play, and an opportunity to play as few or as many holes as you desire daily. Call for a tee time today at Rolling Greens. 217-773-3085.
Standings with 13 points. He is not here tonight because his connections have placed him in the entry box for racing at Urbana tomorrow night in the Illini Stakes. So that means what? Well, it means it's a chance for Fireball's Pride to try and capitalize here because Fireball's Pride second in the standings with 10 points. So Fireball's Pride will try to catch or surpass Dooleyville Lou tonight, as Dooleyville Lou will be racing this week in the Illini Colt Stakes at Urbana. Also a chance for Dashing Durango to pick up a few points. Dashing Durango currently stands 5th with 8 points so far on the season. By the way, Fireball's Pride was a winner here 1 year ago, won by 15 lengths in 2023 at the Edgar County Fair.
All right, David, let's talk about that as Kurt talked, that there are horses that are here that will not be in Urbana tomorrow night, horses in Urbana that were not here today. What's the ruling on that? How often can they race?
The horse that can race, I think it's 2 times in like 3 or 4 days or whatever it is. So you can go, like, you can skip a day and go back if you have to or whatnot, but you can't race like 3 times in a week. So I think the cutoff is 2 times in 3 or 4 days. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, with so few horses in this state and all the fairs kind of spread out, we have to get the coverage, and so people have to put certain horses certain places and hold other horses from other tracks just based on where they can get them in to race, basically.
And weeks like we have coming up this next 2 weeks, we've got
so
a
many
concentration of fairs out there. It would be really nice if we had just about 2 fairs a week, even from our broadcasting schedule, it'd work out. Hey, we're going to race on Tuesdays and Fridays.
That'd be great
if it worked out, and that way you've got some rain dates in there and so forth. And then you've got to throw in the Coin Springfield races.
Yeah, they're racing this week again too down in DuQuoin. You know, we're subject to when the fairs want to put the races and when they all fit together and whatnot, and availability of horsemen and horse officials and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, we do the best we can to put a schedule together. And the horses, you know, I was looking up somebody today, and they were already in for, I think, Lewiston or somewhere. They were already in the box. So it's horses that haven't even raced today already going back in to race later on. So you're always looking ahead, always trying to plan ahead of where that horse's next start's going to be. And you hope they come out of this race okay and you go into that next race without a problem. But, you know, you do evaluate after every race, after every start, how's the horse come out of it? You know, are they still okay or snot their nose?
We talk about, you know, not having enough horses, and we're hoping that is increasing. But just like high school sports, we need officials. Our officials are aging. I don't want to say anything about Randy Callahan, but Randy Callahan's getting old, okay?
Well, all the horses officials are aging, you know. We're thankful to have people like, you know, Emma Schrock stepping up under her mom and doing a lot of stuff, you know, a lot of various type things. But, yeah, there's not any young judges coming up. I think I'm the only young announcer, you could say, and I'm pushing 40. So, you know, it's –
And so if I wanted to get involved, if I wanted to be a timer, if I wanted to be a track official of some sort or announcing, how would I go about doing that?
That's a good question. And I think the best way to go about it is if you have any kind of connection with your local fair board, we can always use associate timers, you know, a second stopwatch, a second set of eyes to kind of double check the timer's timer's times. So if you can run a stopwatch, they can probably put you in a booth. And you learn so much from just being up there and what, you know, goes on as far as how these races are produced. But, you know, you can go into studying to pass a test to become a judge or a starter or a charter or any of these kind of things. There are accreditations you have to get. There's study material out there. But if you have an interest, just ask a question. You know, go up to a horseman, go up to a fair board member. We're always
talk to a timer or a judge that's working the fair in your area.
Or photo finish or whatever. You know, we're always looking for officials to help run these programs and looking for new blood, absolutely.
Hey, and actually, we're looking for people. If you're in a local fair area and you'd say, hey, David Brink, I'd love to help you at this fair. Our fairs are increasing every year because more people are asking us to be there.
And we're getting more comfortable putting other people out there. So, yeah, if you have any kind of interest in running a broadcast, camera, horse, anything like that, we'd love to get you in here to come talk to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Race 7, horses are on the track. It is the Edgar County Republicans race, the Illinois Big Ten Colt Stakes 3-year-old Colt and Gelding Trot. No scratches, no driver changes. Let's meet the starters. Number 1, the Storm Warrior, owned by Stacy and Deb DeRoos of Charleston, trained by Jill Brown, and Jill is in the bike. 2, Chip Off the Block, owned, trained, and driven by Matt Avenatti of Chrisman. 3, Fireball's Pride, owned by Chuck Doring of Brownstown, co-owned by the trainer-driver Darla Martin Lohman of Effingham. Number 4, Dashing Durango, owned by Dr. Stephen Rennard of Hamilton, trained by Jill Brown, the driver Chris Brown. And number 5, Hope's Star, leased by Frank Thigpen of Crystal Springs, Mississippi, the trainer Roshan Trigg, and the driver Michael Cox. Headed to the gate, race 7.
All right, let's talk about the picks, David, here in race 7. Fireball's Pride seems to be the favorite between all three of us. In fact, we all three picked the same order on this one.
Good.
3, 2, 5. So it's going to be Fireball's Pride, Chip Off the Old Block, and Hope Star. Do you think all three of us could be right this time?
That would be a stroke of luck, wouldn't it?
I think we did that last week.
Once or twice?
Yeah, once or twice. Now I'm trying to look at the circles here.
I see Chris Brown going by the grandstand up there, and Kurt mentioned he was wearing his qualifying colors that don't have the white pants. You notice they had the blue top and blue bottom. Also, I'm pretty sure Freddie Patton Jr. is wearing Jamaica or Jordan's colors because I saw a JP on Freddie's shoulder when he was in the winner circle over there, and that's not his normal darker green colors. So I'm not sure who he was borrowing, but I think the horsemen are all kind of
Well, let's give an update on our scoring here.
That's on you.
David Brink, 4 first place picks.
I'll take it.
1 second place pick. Steve Surratt, 4 first place and 1 trifecta. And 1 second place. Lisa, 3 first-place picks, and 1 third-place pick. So, for a change,
You're up there.
I'm up there.
I know.
Horses are
I
at
hear
the
ya.
post. The gate's rolling for race 7. A reminder, stick around, folks. At the end of the races tonight, there will be 8 drawings for $100 each, and we will also recognize the 2 oldest veterans in attendance with special prizes as well. Seeing if Fireball's Pride can repeat his victory of 1 year ago over this racetrack. Right now the field is lined up on the gate, top of the stretch. Our starter, Roy Finn, and Stacy DeRoos at the wheel of the gate. Here they come off the turn into the stretch, race 7. Chip off the block is off stride. Chip off the block, broke stride. They are off and trotting, and there goes Fireball's Pride for the lead. Dashing Durango is out second, and the Storm Warrior comes away a close third. But already a gap of 10 more lengths back to Hope Star in fourth, and a margin of 15 more back of that one. Chip off the block is last of the 5 as they head off the south turn and on to the back straightaway here at the Edgar County Fair. Fireball's Pride is your early leader. Fireball's Pride leads it by 2 lengths. Dashing Durango is in second position. The Storm Warrior is in third. So the top 3 line up nose to tail, but then there's a gap of 15 lengths back to Hope Star in fourth, and a similar margin back to Chip off the block in fifth. 32-1 for the opening quarter, 32 1/5 seconds, sweeping down the north side of the course, and Fireball's Pride, your leader, by 1 length. Dashing Durango is second a length. The Storm Warrior is in third. Then a gap of 7 more lengths back to Hope Star in fourth, and Chip off the block is still the distant trailer and has broken stride once again. Back at the front of the field, it is the Edgar County Republicans race, and they're halfway home with Fireball's Pride, the leader. 105 flat was the time for the first half mile, 105 flat. So Fireball's Pride guides the field back to the south end of the course and leads it by 2 lengths. Dashing Durango goes second by a length as they head up the back stretch again. The Storm Warrior is racing in third. So the top 3 just separated by 5 lengths or so, and Hope Star has caught up with them, a much closer fourth now, but still 8 lengths off the lead, and still a big gap back to Chip off the block, half the distance of the back straightaway. Past the 3/4, Fireball's Pride, the leader by 2 lengths, onto the final turn with Dashing Durango in second. 136-4 the time at the 3/4. 136-4. The Storm Warrior just broke stride. Hope Star moves up to third, still 8 lengths off the lead, and Fireball's Pride still has the lead into the stretch, and Fireball's Pride is going to repeat that victory of 1 year ago. Fireball's Pride will win it and will move to the top of the point standings for the Big Ten 3-year-old Colton Gelding Trot. Fireball's Pride wins the Edgar County Republicans race and won it by 7 lengths. It was Dashing Durango second, Hope Star was third, the Storm Warrior fourth, and Chip off the block finished fifth. 2:08-1. The time for the mile, 2:08 1/5.
Well, David, another one in the books as we take a look at that as Fireball's Pride wins another race.
You know, if Matt hadn't jumped that thing off a couple times, I think we were pretty close on our picks. We had Fireball's Pride winning, and I think we both had Hope Star finishing third. We just Matt's break kind of messed up our trifecta, but great race either way. Darla did a great job, controlling the race. She's a wizard at these fairs. She just is so patient and such a good horseman. Her driving percentage is a testament to it for sure.
Yeah, she's having a great year.
She is.
I mean, as a trainer and as a driver, she's having a good year.
And there was a time when she was driving a lot back in the day, and then when I was younger, I think her brother David actually did a lot more driving and had some bigger names. But she's got a resurgence lately, had a lot of success. Wish her all success, best of luck.
All right, he's working with some replay stuff for the judges. Like I said, we're not in as good a spot as we normally have to be able to get
our thanks again to the Edgar County Republicans. Visit their booth under the grandstand this week at the fair. Swing by and visit them this evening. Of course, they host the annual Lincoln Day dinner. You can visit them on Facebook. And a reminder, Wednesday is Republican Day at the Edgar County Fair. Their blanket about to be presented to the connections of Fireball's Pride, who with this win goes to the top of the leaderboard for the Big Ten point standings in the 3-year-old Colden Gelding Trot. 15 points now for Fireball's Pride. That will relegate Dooleyville-Lou to second with 13. Dashing Durango moves up into third with 12 points. How about a hand for the winner, Fireball's Pride? That's a training and driving double for Darla Martin-Lohman. We mentioned the fact that she's originally from Indiana, but has made her home for several years now in Effingham. And the co-owner, Chuck Doring from Fayette County over in Brownstown, the winner, a 3-year-old gelded son of Desjarbro, Fireball's Pride. 9th career win. Had a good year last year, won $47,000 last season, and now has earnings approaching $60,000. 2:08.1, the time for the mile. And we often talk about the fact as Darla Martin-Lohman receives congratulations from our Fair and Big Ten President Mary Lou Wright, who's also our speech superintendent. Mary Lou gives her a thumbs up. We've talked about it over the years, folks. This harness racing game, it's not just for men. Ladies, how about a hand for Darla?
All right, David.
Here's the full field rundown. It's official for race 7. From the top, the Storm Warrior finished 4. Chip Off the Block was 5. Fireball's Pride, the winner. Dashing Durango, the runner-up, and Hope Star finished 3. The opening quarter went in 32 and 1/5 seconds. The first half mile in 1:05. 3 quarters, 1:36 and 4. And the time for the mile, 2:08 and 1/5. It reads down 4:51.23. That brings us to race 8, the Big Ten 3-year-old filly Pace. And folks, there's a driver change, a late driver change to report.
Well, yeah.
The driver of number 3, Fox Valley Venice, making his career debut
Lane
as a harness horse driver tonight. Lane Avenetti. Lane Avenetti will drive number 3, Fox Valley Venice. This will be his career debut as a harness driver, and he gets to make his debut racing against brothers Wyatt and Matt Avenetti. And they will be joined by Mr. Freddie Patton Jr. and son Cornelius Cavett. So a 5-horse race. 5 excellent horsemen, including the novice, Lane Avenetti. As they say in the stock car racing world, he's got the yellow stripe across the back bumper, signifying he is a rookie. So Lane Avenetti.
Make plans now to attend the 25th Annual Illini Classic Yearling Sale on Labor Day at the Illinois State Fairgrounds in Springfield. Established in 1999, the Illini Classic has been producing champions for a quarter century, including reigning Illinois divisional champions On Higher Ground and Scorecard Dandy. It's the Illini Classic Yearling Sale, Monday, September 2nd at the Illinois State Fairgrounds in Springfield, beginning at 11 a.m. Central. Come join us and finish the summer strong.
Back with you, folks. Steve Surratt, David Brink taking a quick break here. Lisa Surratt doing the camera work for you as we get ready for race 8. And as Kurt announced, there is a driver change on Fox Valley Venice. It will be Lane Avenetti making his debut as a driver. And we've basically got a 2-family race in here, I think. At 3 Avenettis in one race. I mean, folks, if you thought it was exciting with just Matt and Wyatt in a race, I can tell you, I've been around their family. It's a competitive family, and so it's going to be an interesting race here from a spectator that's been around the drivers and watched and talked with this family. So I'm really interested in this race. personally would like to see Lane do really well and finish well in this race. And so with that, let's see what we can get going here. Retry. Yeah, it made my changes for me. As we get ready to go here, with the 8th race of the night, we're almost 2/3 of the way through the racing for the evening. And so let's see what we've got going on here in this, as I try to push some buttons here by myself. The 8th race coming up. We're looking at the picks here. It seems like all three of us picked Bing, 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 and Matt Avenatti is driving that. Philip Cotton, the trainer on that horse. We're all picking that horse. The last couple of races out, Big Ten races in Newton and Fairfield, got first in those races. And then with that, let's see. After that, we all picked the 5, and then
another late driver change for race 8. Please note that the number 1 Chiquitita will be driven by Jaquavian Carter. That's in this 8th race. Number 1 Chiquitita, Jaquavian Carter. First name is spelled Jacquuavian. Again, the first name is spelled Jacquuavian. Jaquavian Carter will be the driver for number 1 Chiquitita. And Jaquavian is the young man that made his career debut as a harness horse driver in June at the Jasper County Fair in Newton, and went out and promptly scored a win in that first career drive. He is 19 years of age. He will turn 20 on August 12.
All right. And I would say we got all the youngsters in this race, David.
When Boo and Matt Avenatti are the old veterans in the race, yeah, I can say so.
Yeah. I mean, this race just got a lot more exciting.
Horses are on the track for race 8.
Watching it.
The Illinois Big Ten 3-year-old filly Pace. Blanket sponsor will be Longview Bank. Visit them at longviewbank.com. Locations: Christmas, Georgetown, Paris, Marshall, Ogden, Newman, Royal, Sydney, Tuscola, St. Joseph, Villa Grove, Tilton. That doesn't even include the Danville Loan Production Office. So our thanks to the folks at Longview Bank. Good to have them on board again this year as one of our sponsors for harness racing, one of our presenting sponsors, and also one of our blanket sponsors as well. Thank you. Let's meet the starters for race 8. Number 1, Chiquitita, owned by David Williams of Byram, Mississippi. Laverius Carter of Clinton, Mississippi, trained by Freddie Patton Jr. Jaquavian Carter will be in the bike. 2 is Paradise Tomorrow, owned by Kevin and Darrell Miller of Arthur. Glenn Otto of Arthur. Lester Detweiler, Sullivan, trained by Kevin Miller. Wyatt Avenatti is up. 3 is Fox Valley Venice, owned and trained by Earl Avenatti of Clinton, Indiana. The driver will be his grandson, Lane Avenatti. 4, Hot Like Mama, owned by Cedric Daniels of Jackson, Mississippi, trained and driven by Cornelius Cavett. And 5, Bing Bing Bing, owned by Philip and Sherry Cotton of Fairfield, trained by Phil Cotton. The driver is Matt Avenatti. So here they come, parading by the stands, and along the inside lane toward the back, there's number 3, Fox Valley Venice. How about some encouragement for Lane Avenatti?
Just making nervous now.
We mentioned the fact earlier that Lane is an experienced horseman, even though he's never driven in a race until right now. This is his career debut, but of course when you grow up in the Avenatti family, you grow up around the horses and you learn how to care for horses and you learn horsemanship from a very young age. What a special thing for Lane to be able to say that his first career start as a driver came with a horse owned and trained by his grandfather, Earl. Headed to the gate.
I don't know that there's much more to say about this race.
I'm loving it.
I mean, this is probably the most exciting race of the day.
I'm looking forward to,
personally.
just to see these young guys go. before this race goes off, we have some people watching. We have a couple, Mike and Diane Buzzard, are watching from Denali National Park up in Alaska.
Hey, that's a great place.
How cool is that?
Hey, having just been to Alaska,
I know, I'm jealous.
It is a beautiful, beautiful place. So what better thing?
Horses approaching the starting gate, getting ready here for the 8th race. Bing, Bing, Bing has been red hot of late.
Sounds great.
And as a result, leads the Big Ten standings for 3-year-old pacing fillies with 10 points. Big Flicka stands second with 9, but Big Flicka is racing tomorrow night in the Illini Stakes at Urbana. So Bing, Bing, Bing will try to build on that lead that she has in this 3-year-old filly pace division. It is the Longview Bank Big Ten Colt Stakes 3-year-old filly pace at the post. Gates rolling up on the north end of the course.
It's too late to change my pick, but I saw Scott was picking lane in this one, so I think we're all going to be rooting for these young guys.
Yeah,
1/8 of a mile from the start.
Throw it back up to Kurt.
Here they come. They are off and pacing. There goes Hot Like Mama for the lead, and there goes Paradise Tomorrow with early speed as well. Chiquitita comes away in third. Bing, Bing, Bing gets away in the 4th position as they head into the first turn, and Fox Valley Venice away in good order last. Chiquitita's off stride, and Fox Valley Venice also off stride. So Chiquitita and Fox Valley Venice both break stride around that first turn, but the lead battle side by side. It is Paradise Tomorrow to the inside and Hot Like Mama to the outside, separated by less than 1 length. Then a gap of 6 more lengths back to Bing, 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 who is catching up with the other two now in third. 31 flat for the opening quarter, 31 seconds flat, the fastest opening quarter so far on the evening. And here comes Bing, Bing, Bing. We mentioned the fact this filly has been on a roll here of late. She's won back-to-back races by a combined margin of right at 30 lengths, and she is moving up third on the outside, although Bat Avenatti now backs off the throttle just a bit as she continues to travel in third, and here she comes again now to challenge for second. This is all going on behind the leader, Paradise Tomorrow, halfway home here in the Longview Bank race for pacing fillies. So Paradise Tomorrow leads them back to the south end of the course by 3/4 of a length. 104 flat for the first half mile, 104 flat. Bing, Bing, Bing. Second and wide around that south turn as Paradise Tomorrow continues to travel along with the lead. Once again, here comes Bing, Bing, Bing. So it is Wyatt versus Matt Avenatti for the lead at the 3/4, and Hot Like Mama with Cornelius Cavett in the bike is right behind that pair. A length separates the top three. 20 more lengths back to Fox Valley Venice in fourth. 135 flat the time. 135 at the 3/4. Chiquitita, the distant trailer. Around the final turn they go. Paradise Tomorrow is the leader. The lead is still 1 length. Bing, Bing, Bing will make another try as they turn for home, and Hot Like Mama is in behind that pair looking for some racing room. Paradise Tomorrow, Bing, Bing, Bing. Hot Like Mama. These three down to the wire. Bing, Bing, Bing wins it by almost a length on the line over Paradise Tomorrow and Hot Like Mama. Valley Venice comes home in good order fourth, and then it was Chiquitita across the wire in fifth.
Get the replay up for people. As
time for the mile, 2:04 and 4/5. 2:04 and 4/5.
And I believe
Bing, Bing,
David
Bing.
Brink got his first trifecta of the day.
5-2-4.
5-2-4. David Brink gets in the trifecta and wins.
I'm glad I didn't change my pick lane.
Yeah, he kind of got off stride there.
I'll take my trifecta
two young
and
guys
go
got
home.
off stride.
Yeah, I love seeing these. You know, you have to start somewhere, right? We all have our first mile. I remember mine very vividly. I think I was probably back there where Jaquavion was, somewhere 30 lengths behind the field. It's a little filly that I own. It wouldn't even go to the gate that day. But, you know, you have to go from somewhere. So we're glad to see these guys starting and, you know, out here at these fairs, learning the ropes and battling around these bull rings.
Well, I tell you what, David, you just tied things up there. But if
You're
we
right.
make the tiebreaker other picks, seconds and thirds, you're still behind.
I
I'll
know.
pull that card. But 6 wins for you and
One quick
5 for
note.
Lisa.
It's always interesting to see a rookie in any situation and see what their approach is. And if you noticed, Lane Avenatti, he used the strategy a lot of folks in all forms of racing will use. And that strategy is this. It's my first start, and maybe the best thing I can do is just be careful, get away at the back, and when you follow the field, you have a chance to watch and keep track of what the other drivers in front of you are doing. It is a learning experience. So Lane Avenatti, a very wise approach to that first career drive, and we commend him for that, and comes home with a fourth-place finish, and we hope that is the first of many drives to come for Lane Avenatti. Speaking of the Avenatti name, how about his brother Matt, who's coming back to the winner's circle? How about a hand for Matt Avenatti? Bing, bing, bing.
Bang, bang, bang.
Mm-hmm.
With that theme, David, I think somebody should name a horse.
Bing, Bing, Bing is owned by
Bada
Philip
man.
and Sherry
Might have
Cotton of
been
Fairfield,
already
trained
named
by
something
Phil
like that.
Cotton. Matt Avenatti drives this 3-year-old daughter of Fort Knox, third winner on the card for that sire, and this is a homebred, bred and raised by Philip and Sherry Cotton. 2:04.4 the time, third win in a row on the fair circuit, third straight in the Big Ten for Bing, Bing, Bing. And when we talk about experienced harness drivers, Phil Cotton attributes Matt Avenatti's ability as a driver as part of the reason why this filly has turned the corner and has now won 3 in a row. Phil said, I changed the bridle. I changed to a blind bridle. Phil decided that the less this filly could see, the more she would relax, and it worked. So they restricted her peripheral vision, and he said Matt has been able to get her more relaxed. So that was the key for this filly, just to get her. We all get nervous, and this filly would get nervous when she would go to the races, but the blind bridle and the horsemanship of Matt Avenatti and Phil Cotton have helped turn her in the right direction. Bing, bing, bing. As a result, 3 wins in a row. Our thanks once again to the gang at Longview Bank. Again, you can visit them at longviewbank.com, our blanket sponsor for race number 8 and one of our presenting sponsors for harness racing this evening at the Edgar County Fair. Always fascinating to talk to the men and women who train these horses and who drive these horses. And as they have often told us, there are a lot of folks in the horseman's community who are fans of other forms of racing, such as motorsports. But as they often say, if we ask them, okay, if you like the Indy 500 or the Daytona 500 or whatever it might be, what is the difference? What is the key difference between motorsports and horse racing? And almost to the person, they will answer, these aren't machines. And that is for sure. These are obviously living, breathing creatures. They've got a mind of their own. They've got a temperament of their own. And they can even get nervous, as we mentioned. And we can all probably identify with that. There are days we're probably all nervous when we have to go do a job or maybe give a performance. But again, Bing, 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 as she has begun to relax and just get more settled as a racehorse, she has become a package of dynamite, 3 consecutive wins. Here's the full field rundown for the 8th race. Chiquitita finished 5. Paradise Tomorrow was the runner-up. Fox Valley Venice finished 4th. Hot Like Mama was 3rd. Bing, 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 the winner. The quarter, 31. The half in 104. 3/4 in 135. And the time for the mile, 2:04 and 4/5. Reads down 5:24.31. That will
Pine Ridge Mobile Home Transport is the go-to mobile home transportation company. We provide top-notch services including moving, block and leveling, and even demolitions with a quick turnaround time. If you're looking to move or get rid of your mobile home, Pine Ridge is the company to call. We now have dumpsters available for rent at competitive rates. Contact Wayne at 217-313-9744 or find us on Facebook.
Wait, before you go and get your snacks and drinks, make sure to subscribe and like to Harness Tube. If you can't do that, just give us a thumbs up. Alright, to the show.
Hey, David, let's talk about our schedule here real quick as we have some time here. Tomorrow we'll be in Urbana, 6 p.m. Start time there. We'll be on the air about 5:30, between 5:30 5:45, with 16 races, with one of those races being a celebrity race.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those races and love the hoopla with that. And so with that, we'll have that coming up. Lewiston on Thursday, and then Sunday we start out basically
Bam.
Let's see. How many days?
Like 8 out of 10 straight or something?
8 out of 9 or 9 out of 10 straight days.
Yeah, so if you're looking for some horse racing, we're the place to be the next 2 weeks.
And so with that, that's what's going on with our schedule. We'll finish up with Marshall as I pushed the wrong button there. Got too many keyboards here.
It's all right.
We finish up in Marshall on the 5th.
Yeah.
And for Lisa and I, we go straight from the fire into the fire pit because we get junior high baseball and softball starting that same week as we get finished up with.
No rest for the wicked, right?
Bam. Talking about Lisa, are you?
No, I would never do that.
Okay.
She works too hard for me to make any kind of comments.
To run the table in the Big Ten. Because so far, 4 for 4. He's made every Big Ten fair thus far this summer, and he tries to go 5 for 5 here tonight. You might remember last year, Scrappy had to make a big rally late and got up by a nose over April's Big Guy. And we mentioned that because April's Big Guy is back in the lineup tonight, and April's Big Guy has been pacing some pretty fast miles on the 5/8 mile track at Oak Grove down in Kentucky. So a good battle is shaping up here. Vertical Speed is a nice horse. Mr. Turbo Muffler has hit the board 3 times this year, and Oogity Boogity has hit the board twice.
Okay, let's talk about the picks here, David, as we get into race number 9. Looks like the 4-horse seems to be a popular pick. In fact, you picked 4-1-2, and Lisa and I picked 4-1-5.
The Marcus Detweiler pick, huh? You put it. That's
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
There goes Mitch Titus. Looks like on the. Yeah, it's you got. It's hard to cheer against Marcus or Lane or Jaquavion or any of these young guys out there. So that pick's fine with me.
And you cannot pick against Scrappy coming up. I mean, that horse is having a great year. Cornelius having a great year with that horse, and you're not going to pick against that horse.
No, only beating a nose at Springfield in the last 5 races. So, coming in this is going to be pretty tough. But you got Wyatt on the rail, though. That horse is finishing second, third, second, first, second.
Yeah, and very consistent horse there. You've got to put that horse in the second spot, and that horse could win here at Wyatt's home track, as we would call it. And then you went with the number 2 horse, April's Big Guy. Is that a sentimental pick for you?
No, no. This one, just those miles coming down at Oak Grove. This horse it should be sharp, should be tight, pacing in 54 and change. Coming up here, get a little class relief. Mike Cox drives enough for Roshan to know these horses and kind of have an idea how to drive this horse and drive this track. So I used him third. Her third, excuse me.
And Lisa went with Lisa and I both went with Marcus Detweiler with Oogity Boogity.
I don't think she's the only one. We got Mina Miller jumping in the chats wishing Marcus good luck. Mina was talking that she was watching from Delaware. I don't know if that was Delaware the state or Delaware, Ohio, which is a kind of horse capital. So
she'll have to clarify
if she jumps in the. Yeah, I was going to put it up on the screen, but she retracted the comment. So
we're going to have to get us a map.
I know,
and put it up and start putting pins on it.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Maybe next year. That's a 2025 thing.
That list is getting longer.
After the second cameraman, after the
drone, replay, the drone,
all those things.
Putting a camera on anything on a.
Somebody said. Putting it on the cart.
That was Tyler. I think he's driving this race.
Is it?
Where's he at?
Yeah, it would have to be on the helmet. But here's the thing: even from that standpoint, I want you to think about how far that driver is back. And the view you're going to get.
They've done it before. It's a bad view. You have to point it down.
It's a name that I've been called several times is what you're going to see there. You're not going to see nothing but the horses.
Well, that's all the view you got anyway, the horse's butt.
Okay. we don't have him.
Oh.
But here's the other thing that I will tell you. I think the camera facing backwards and getting that view. If we could find a front runner, we could put that camera on. Because I think people need to see how close that second place horse is.
Oh, the horse is breathing on your neck,
I think we can probably see up the nostrils.
Absolutely. Even if you get a shot, one of those 360 cameras, you can move and get different views. That'd be so awesome. But I'd love to get a good shot on the car or something.
We'll go back to Kurt.
Owned also by Roshan Trigg of Brandon, Mississippi. Roshan's the trainer and Michael Cox the driver. 3, Mr. Turbo Muffler, owned by Terry Wilson of Jackson, Mississippi. Trained by Fabian Johnson, the driver. Tyler Stevens Clements. 4 is Scrappy coming up. Owned and trained by Leroy Hunt of Jackson, Tennessee. Milton Greer of Jackson, Tennessee, the co-owner. And Cornelius Cavett is the driver. 5 is Oogity Boogity. Owned, trained, and driven by Marcus Detweiler out of Sullivan. One note, contrary to the program, the 5 Oogity Boogity is a Gelding. Headed to the gate, race number 9.
And if you had made me guess, I would have said that Mina was watching from Delaware, Ohio, but prove me wrong. She's in Delaware State. So thanks for watching. How cool out on the East Coast.
That's a new state for us.
It is. They do have a track out there, and some Illinois horsemen have ventured out that way in the last 20 years or so. And
that's a big thoroughbred area also, isn't it, out in Delaware?
Out in the whole East Coast, there's a lot of horse racing, a lot of tracks, a lot of gambling. So, that Delaware is a business-friendly state in the middle of the Northeast, so they get a lot of business like that coming in.
Okay, let's talk about, for a second, getting your driver's license as opposed, because you've got to have a driver's license to be on a car.
You do.
How do you go about doing that?
There's a test you have to take. There's a written test and a practical test, and I haven't taken mine for about 20-some years now, but you can order a study guide online and study for this test, and then you sit down and you take the test. I can't remember, it's stuff about driving parimutuel races. It's about rigging horses, shoeing, bits, what to do in certain scenarios, just basic horse maintenance type stuff. And once you pass that written part, then you can take the practical part. And that's where you basically have to be observed by a judge, I think is who it is, or USTA director, somebody, and they have to watch you, get a horse out of the stall to warming it up and putting it away, the whole kit and caboodle. They want to see how you handle the horse from stall to stall, and they watch kind of how you conduct yourself. And if you look safe enough, they'll give you a license, and then you can have what's called a QF, qualifier or fair license to drive at these fairs out here, or a qualifier, a non-betting race. Once you get that license, you can petition. I think it's 25 quality starts in front of a judge. You can petition to have your P or A license to drive it anywhere. P is a provisional, drives any parimutuel track, and then A is anywhere in the world that has horse racing you can drive.
Okay, so I'd have to have like Randy Callahan or someone, a judge, actually come to the barn.
At the post, gates rolling.
You'd probably go to them, but yeah. But I think we went to Springfield and then took our written tests, and I did my practical test there in Mount Sterling because Doug and I were doing it at the same time, so it justified bringing somebody out to watch us, and it was one of Dad's friends, so,
We're going to get ready for racing here, folks.
We're just down here chit-chatting in our little studio.
Here they come, race 9. Richard Weiss Memorial. They are off and pacing. There goes Scrappy coming up, right out for the early lead. Vertical Speed is there to the inside, and April's Big Guy comes away racing in the 3rd position. Oogity Boogity is next, and then Mr. Turbo Muffler at the back. Around the first turn they go, and April's Big Guy with an awkward move there around the turn as they head up the backstretch. The front of the field, in the meantime, Scrappy coming up has cleared Vertical Speed with the lead. Now, April's Big Guy has lost ground to the leaders, about a dozen lengths from the front, but is now trying to cut into that deficit. Oogity Boogity is 4th. 29-1 for the opening quarter, fastest opening quarter thus far on the program. And again, Oogity Boogity is back in the 4th spot. Mr. Turbo Muffler, who broke stride on the first turn, is the distant trailer. After 3/8 of a mile, Scrappy coming up is the leader. Talked about the fact he's unbeaten on the Big Ten circuit so far this season and shows the way halfway home in the Dick Weiss Memorial race. It is Scrappy coming up who shows the way, leads it by a length. Vertical Speed is second by a length, and April's Big Guy has now caught the leaders and is a close third. 101 and 1 for the first half mile. 101 and 1/5. So Scrappy coming up leads it. Vertical Speed is in second. April's Big Guy is now within striking position in third as they head off the first turn and back up the back straightaway once again. And here comes April's Big Guy. Now, we talked about the fact April's Big Guy has been pacing some fast miles at the Parimutuels and is now up to second, but still has to catch Scrappy coming up, who leads by a length. 1:33 the time at the 3/4, 1:33. Scrappy coming up is the leader, 3/4 of a length, as April's Big Guy is right there on the outside in second, and Vertical Speed is a close third. Don't count that one out just yet. They turn for home, but they've got to get Scrappy coming up, and he's tough with the lead. Scrappy has the advantage. Vertical Speed to second. April's Big Guy drops back. Scrappy coming up wins it. Scrappy coming up won it by a length and a half on the line to remain unbeaten this year in the Big Ten. It was Vertical Speed home second, April's Big Guy third, Oogity Boogity fourth, and Mr. Turbo Muffler fifth. 2:02 flat was the time for the mile. 2:02 flat, the time for the mile, the fastest mile thus far on the program.
Yeah.
We're up.
All right, David. Everybody picked the 4-horse. Everybody picked the 1-horse.
And did everybody?
And no, not everybody. David Brink.
Someone did.
And that's your second trifecta, so that makes you actually in the lead with a tie with the number of races.
Never count me out.
And now, I want to tell you, Lisa and I weren't too far behind in the fact that the 5-horse finished 4th.
No, I know. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and you almost didn't get your trifecta
that was
there
the
because let's see.
This evening's
Vertical
ninth race,
Speed.
the Richard Dick Weiss
Looks
Memorial.
like you've got
Mr. Weiss passed away in February of this year at the age of 92. He had attended 79 editions of the Edgar County Fair, including the last, 70 in a row or so. He started attending back when he was 8 or 9 years old. The only time he missed while he was in the Navy. And incidentally, he was a member of the American Legion Post 211. His grandfather owned a harness horse back in the Depression era, ran a dairy farm and delivered milk here in Paris. So point being, Mr. Weiss grew up around horses, had a love for racing, and it was always fun to see him in the stands. And we remember Richard Dick Weiss here this evening. And the winner, this is the kind of horse that Mr. Weiss would have loved, because this horse is tough as nails. Unbeaten in the Big Ten. 5 Big Ten starts, 5 Big Ten victories. How about a hand for Scrappy coming up? Mr. Cornelius Cabot giving a nice wave to the crowd. Congratulations also to Leroy Hunt, the owner-trainer of Jackson, Tennessee. Milton Greer, the co-owner of Jackson, Tennessee, a homebred for those connections, a colt by Some Star Somewhere. And again, I don't know if Mr. Hunt intends to race this horse at every Big Ten fair, but I know this. He's been to all 5 this summer, and he's won all 5 of those Big Ten starts. Congratulations to our winning connections. Here is the full field rundown. It is official for the 9th race. From the top of the page, Vertical Speed, the runner-up. April's Big Guy finished 3. Mr. Turbo Muffler finished 5. Scrappy coming up, the winner. And Oogity Boogity finished 4. The opening quarter, 29 and 1. The opening half mile, 101 and 1. 3/4 and 133, and the time for the mile was 2:02. Reached down 2:35.14. Scrappy coming up 25 points now as he leaves here tonight to lead the Big Ten 3-year-old colt and gelding pace division. The next closest horse is I Understand with 16 points. Now that completes the Big Ten Colt Stakes portion of the card, but more racing to come. 3 races to go, including race 10. the open trot, and just as the heading of the race would imply, the race is open to any registered standardbred trotter from age 2 through age 14. Please note, contrary to the program, there is no additional past performance line to be announced for the one Noble Prize because Noble Prize was scratched from that race on Friday at DuQuoin. However, number 3, Just Another Bag, did race at DuQuoin, was 7th, but trotted a big mile in 1:59 and 2. Was in pretty tough, and despite finishing off the board, did trot a mile in 1:59 and 2/5. Just Another Bag won this race 1 year ago in a time of 2:04 and 3. You've got Bell Boots, reigning Illinois champion filly Bell Boots, who has raced twice at this fair and has won both times, and after winning here last year, went on to score a victory on the Night of Champions in Chicago at Hawthorne Racecourse and was named the best 3-year-old trotting filly last season in Illinois. So quite a lineup here in race number 10. Horsemen, you may come to the track for this 10th race.
David, we want to talk about our donors that we have out there. We can't do this without our advertisers and our donors. That keeps it free for everybody.
Absolutely. You know, we've said it before, but we really appreciate these donorships because when we started out, this idea was to run some ads and pay for this thing or something. But, you know, that these donors, especially on the screen here, have opened up their wallets and reached out and sent some checks and whatnot and been so generous, and it's so appreciative, and it helps, you know, ease. I saw that too. It helps ease things, you know, when we're trying to plan out adding new places or getting equipment we may need. So we appreciate it, you know, everyone doing this so we can keep it to you guys for free. Absolutely.
And you know, number one, the equipment costs money.
Yeah.
Last year we used our equipment.
Yep.
You kind of rented what we had for our BC Hornet Sports. But the travel, I mean, the travel alone today, because you worked till noon.
I worked this morning.
And then you sped down here. 2 vehicles coming over 3 hours away. Mm-hmm. And then because of the lateness here,
yeah,
even if we were only not doing tomorrow, we probably would spend the night. You would probably forge back to save a day off tomorrow.
That would be, yeah.
But we've got an overnight stay because we're in Urbana tomorrow to save the gas mileage. And then because Urbana has 16 races and
at
we're not
6 p.m. post,
at 6 p.m. post, we're going to be late tomorrow night. So another hotel and then that 3-hour drive home from there. And that's what it costs. Our closest race and most inexpensive race for us is Brown County and Schuyler County, because they're right out our back door. But most everything is an hour to over 3 hours away.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, the price of gas is never going down, it seems like, but with the equipment and stuff, and just, I mean, for everyone's time, you guys are here, I'm here, you know, it's so appreciative of what we're doing, what you guys are doing for us, for the Horsemen, that, you know, we want to make sure we can get some money coming in so we can keep this going into the future.
Oh, thank you, because you do all the back work, okay?
That's the stuff.
I do a little bit with the graphics, and I just show up and have fun.
You know what, though? If you're having fun, then we're winning, because I need you guys to be into this. And if you guys are struggling and dragging, then it's not going to be fun. But if you guys are enjoying it, then everyone's going to have a good time. So I'll pick up the slack wherever I need to, because, you know, this is – a lot of people are benefiting from this. Just in the group chat, we have some people watching from here. It is Glenn Brown's cheering on the Avenatti family from down in the great state of Texas. So we have people all over this country, you know, who are able to watch
out of this country.
Out of this country, too.
We even got some of those Canadians watching.
And what, South
Brazil?
America, South America, too. And I think there was some over in Asia, maybe, but yeah.
And we've got people watching live in Paris.
Yeah, exactly.
Paris,
Illinois, but that's where we are.
It's where we are. And we drove through Detroit to get here. We didn't. Detroit, Illinois. But a great time we're having with this. I know Lisa has fun. And, folks, I tell you, you can have that fun, too. We talk about getting around the Horsemen, getting around this sport. I challenge you that you would not have fun if you got involved with harness racing during
And
the
if
summer.
you are a little unsure, reach out to us. We'll put you in contact with somebody close to you, maybe who trains in your area. You know, because it can be daunting, and it's hard to catch these horsemen when they're not busy. They show up, they unload, they're busy, then they unload and they leave. So if you don't know someone to talk to, anyone to approach, reach out to Harness Tube. we'll put you in contact with someone in your area, someone who's kind of an expert, where you might be able to get to them and, just get the experience. Go put your hands on the animal, pet them, curry comb them off, help harness them up, carry water buckets. It's all part of the experience.
Yep. Now, Lisa, getting those good shots
I love that fair.
out there of the fair. You can donate, folks. Here's the information on the screen.
Horses are on the track for race 10, the open trot at the Edgar County Fair. No scratches, no driver changes, so let's meet the starters for race 10. Number 1 is Noble Prize, owned by Doug Graham of Springfield. Doug is the trainer and also the driver. 2 is You Ain't No Fool, owned by LaQuinton Shavers of Brandon, Mississippi, trained by Roshan Trigg, and Freddie Patton Jr. is in the bike. 3, Just Another Bag, is owned by Autumn Avenatti Nelson of Crispin, trained by David Avenatti, and the driver is Wyatt Avenatti. And number 4, Bell Boots, completes the field, owned by Kelly and Tony Bell of Windsor, trained and driven by Matt Avenatti. 4 trotters headed to the gate, race 10.
All right, race 10. All 3 of us, Lisa, David, and I picked the same horses in a 4-horse race. It's a 3-2-4, so it's just another bag.
And we're not alone. Scott and Nance here picking Matt and Bell Boots to win this one.
This evening's 10th race is the Robinson Accounting race.
Thinking the same thing.
Located
here
on East Jasper here in Paris. Visit them online, robinsonaccounting.com. We appreciate their continued sponsorship of racing. And again, they are not only a blanket sponsor, but also one of our presenting sponsors for harness racing at the fair.
And you've got the Avenatti boys, Wyatt and Matt, in this race, both. And so we'll see how that turns out.
I got to give the edge to Matt, though, here. That Bell Boots being the champion last year, 3-year-old, she was just so good. Night of Champions last year. He gave her a great drive. He trains that horse. He drives her like he trains her. Kelly Joe and Tony Joe Bell own that horse over there, So he takes care of this horse, and he's kind of been coming down a little bit this year, a little bit better. I'm looking for the horse to step up and really just kind of put a nice race out here today.
You look at a couple of these horses, their lifetime income is really good. Nobel Prize, $161,500 in the lifetime there. And how old is this horse?
That's a 10-year-old. And I don't know where Doug Graham got that horse at a mixed sale probably, but that horse was racing out east. You can see on its line. It made $161,000, but it has a mark 5 years ago at Pocono, the 5H track in 54-4. So that horse was bred in Ontario, looks like, and then raced. Because he's a Cadabra. So raced in Canada, came down to the East Coast, and now is racing here in Illinois.
Horses have reached the starting gate, and the gate is rolling for race number 10. Number 1, Noble Prize, is a horse whose left eye was surgically removed a number of years ago.
There you go.
So he only has vision to his right, but it has not impacted his ability as a racehorse. He is a Canadian bred. He started his career up in Canada years ago, and he's won 12 races and $160,000. And as a 10-year-old, now moving into the latter stages of his career, only one eye, but that has not stopped him from being competitive. Here they come, 10th race, top of the stretch. They are off and trotting, and there goes Just Another Bag out for the lead. Bell Boots has early speed as well. Noble Prize comes away in the 3rd position, and You Ain't No Fool is last of the 4, but right there with the rest as they head around the south turn. Just Another Bag is the leader. Just Another Bag, winner of this race at the Edgar County Fair, taking the open trot 1 year ago, has opened up on a 5-length lead up the back straightaway. Bell Boots is racing in second by 3. Noble Prize is third, a length and a half, and You Ain't No Fool is last of the 4 as they trot on by the quarter-mile mark with Just Another Bag, the leader. Just Another Bag on top. 32 seconds for the opening quarter, 32 seconds. Indiana sired, Just Another Bag leads, and the lead opens back up here to 3.5 lengths. It had been 5, then down to 2, now back out to just over 3. Bell Boots travels along in the 2nd position, then a gap of 3 more lengths. You Ain't No Fool is up on the outside, challenging Noble Prize for that 3rd spot, and that pair about 4 to 5 lengths off the leader, and the leader is Just Another Bag. Just Another Bag leads it for Wyatt Avenatti past the half-mile mark in the Robinson Accounting race, the open trot. Just Another Bag leads by 2. 104 and 3 for the first half mile. 104 and 3/5. Around the south turn they go, and Just Another Bag has the lead. Still 3.5 lengths to the good. Bell Boots second a length, and then You Ain't No Fool up on the outside in the third position. And Noble Prize is last of the 4, but he's right there with the rest as they reach the midpoint of the back straightaway. But Just Another Bag still has the lead. Leads it by 4 lengths, quarter mile to go. Bell Boots is in second, and now Bell Boots picks up the chase and tries to catch up with the leader. 1:36 the time at the 3/4, 1:36. On to the north turn they go. Just Another Bag maintains the lead. Some 4 lengths to the good now as they turn for home. Bell Boots is second by nearly the same margin. Back to You Ain't No Fool. Noble Prize is last. Just Another Bag is going to repeat that win in the open trot that we saw him post 1 year ago. Just Another Bag. Wyatt Avenatti aboard, winning for owner Autumn Avenatti Nelson, trainer David Avenatti, driver Wyatt Avenatti. They won it by nearly 10 lengths. Bell Boots was home in second position, followed across the line by You Ain't No Fool and Noble Prize. 2:05 and 2/5. The time for the 1 mile distance, 2:05 and 2. Just Another Bag.
All the horses within a couple of lengths there, David. That made that an interesting race to a point.
Our shorter fields are getting our more exciting finishes. Go figure that out.
Yeah.
We have 4 horse races and we're getting tight finishes. We have 7 horses and they're all strung out.
And so guess what? Your trifecta got messed up there. All 3 of us had the winning horse. So just to let you know that.
Oh, I had 2 and 4 mixed up, didn't I? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, you're mortal every now and then.
I am, for sure.
And so
anything can happen at these fairs, you know.
And so we'll give you the race results up there on our tally sheet. Everybody picked the winner on that one, the 3 horse. Everybody didn't do well. We would have been okay in a box.
Yeah.
But we didn't box it.
It's okay.
And so Lisa likes it when she picks ours because that means she doesn't fall any further behind. She's over there watching.
Sometimes that's a strategy to keep yourself right.
Yeah.
Don't lose ground.
Don't lose ground. But Bell Boots
Just another
Well,
bag.
already this evening,
Boots,
Matt
I like
Avenatti
the
had
horse.
posted
I
a
do too.
driving double, so Wyatt now has matched his brother with 2 wins on the card. Wyatt won race 2 tonight and now wins here in race 10. Just Another Bag, 23rd career victory for this horse, and takes the Robinson Accounting Open Trot here tonight at the Edgar County
There's
Fair.
Lane in his colors.
Who's?
Lane in his colors.
I like
And right
that.
now the winner on his way back, moving off
like
the
a flag.
south turn of the racetrack and back into the home stretch, owned by Autumn Avenatti Nelson and trained by her father, David Avenatti. Autumn's brother, Wyatt, is your winning driver. Winner last year over this track in a time of 2:04 and 3, wins tonight in 2:05 and 2. You notice the mark of a good horseman, Wyatt Avenatti. He knew he had that race well in hand, so he kept that trotter under wraps, as they say. Could have gone faster, but didn't need to go faster. And that's because Wyatt knows there's a lot more racing to be done this summer and this fall. So the Robinson Accounting Blanket about to be presented down trackside and moving into the winner's circle. How about a hand for Just Another Bag? Our thanks once again to everybody at Robinson Accounting, blanket sponsor and also presenting sponsor tonight for harness racing at the 162nd Edgar County Fair. It's always special to win races and always an extra special thing to win a race at the home fair, with Edgar County, of course, being home to the Avenatti family, as Wyatt now will bring Just Another Bag back into the winner's circle once again. This has been a good trotter for the Avenatti stable. We mentioned the fact in the race call this is an Indiana-sired trotter who has just won for the 23rd time in his career. Earlier this year, this horse went over the $100,000 mark in earnings, and also this year broke the all-age trotting track record at the Macoupin County Fair in Carlinville. Now, the reason that Wyatt has been circling with Just Another Bag and waiting is because of the fact he wanted Matt, his brother, to be part of this picture down trackside. Brother Lane Avenatti is trackside as well. Their sister Autumn is the owner. Their father Dave is the trainer. Ladies and gentlemen, the family Avenatti at the Edgar County Fair. The Avenatti family, proud of their Italian heritage, their ancestry tracing back to Italy, and we've talked to David and other members of the family about it, and they consider themselves very fortunate that their ancestors made the brave journey across the big pond and came to the States many, many generations ago. And the Avenatti family, a key part of harness racing, not only in Edgar County, but in Illinois. So congratulations, and Wyatt, congratulations to you on a driving double here tonight. Yep. The Illinois racing community lost a young harness horseman by the name of Dylan Neatfelt of Piatone. He was an avid horseman for many years, and he could often be spotted either at a farm or a racetrack, state fairs, parimutuel, county fairs. He made a lot of friends in the industry. Some of those friends include Liz and Merle Finn, Matt Rodriguez, Wyatt Avenatti. He became very close with Wyatt and the Avenatti family, just to name a few of his friends. And later this year, a 2-year-old pacing colt named Dylan's Dream that was owned by Dylan in partnership with Wyatt Avenatti is getting close to making his debut, probably later this summer or early this fall. Last summer, Dylan was moved by the untimely passing of Harper Finn, and today the Neatfelt family donates $1,000 in Dylan's memory to the Harper's Love Foundation, a foundation which helps families who have suffered tragic losses. Dylan and Harper gone too soon. We remember them tonight, and we thank the Neatfelt family, Kevin, Jake, the entire family, for their thoughtful donation. Thank you.
Yoder Custom Woodworking was started in 1995 by the Yoder family as a retail Amish furniture store in Sullivan, Illinois. They offer custom kitchen cabinets, granite and quartz countertops, built-in office and bathroom cabinetry, and offer a wide range of Amish furniture. Their store is located at 1117 West Jackson Street in Sullivan, Illinois, with store hours Tuesday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturday 9 to 3. For more information, contact Yoder Custom Woodworking at 217-728-2166.
When I started at DOT, I realized I could make a career out of this. It's just amazing the people you get to interact with when you get here. It's a family atmosphere for me. One of my main jobs is talking to people, trying to understand what's going on, where they're at in life, what they're needing from me to get their job done. I've met so many people, and it's been a real blessing to be a part of all that. Big company in a small town, that's a fact. When my life needed growth, I chose DOT, and I never left.
So, good field top to bottom across the page, race 11.
Some of the behind-the-scenes shots there by Lisa Surratt up in the stands. We appreciate my wife and what she does. She kind of sees that fair flavor. You see the horses, that'll be the Brown trailer there. Jill and her husband getting the cart ready to go home. Apparently they're done for the day and getting finished up. And so those are the neat shots out there as we see harness racing and fair at its best. Let's take a look at the next race as we are ready to go to race 11 here with this race. Everyone, Lisa, David, and I are all picking the 3-horse Phillies Revenge. That'll be driven by Wyatt Avenatti as the first one. Richard Finn, I've got to get that change in. Richard Finn will be driving the number 1 horse, double parked. And so I'll get that change up here for you as we get ready for the next to last race. Richard Finn, as he was here to pick up that check for his daughter's foundation. And so we'll get him in as the driver here. I think that's the only change so far in this race as we get ready for race 11. David back after checking on some things out there. David, Richard Finn driving the 1 double parked, but all of us picked the 3 horse to win this race. Philly's Revenge, Wyatt Avenetti trying to go ahead of his brother here. In the standing, Matt's not in this race, so he can
jump out.
He can jump out and get a 3-2 win there. And then followed by David picked the 1 horse, double parked, now driven by Richard Finn, Kevin Miller horse. Lisa and I picked the 2 horse, Ashley's Little Angel, Roshan Trigg, Mike Cox driving that horse. And let's see, for the 4th, David picked Little Angel to finish 3rd in this race. Lisa picked double park to finish 3rd. I've picked Candy's Fortune, Freddie Patton Jr. horse to finish in that 3rd spot.
You know, I like this whole field, these mares. I've watched them all race for so long. I remember cheering for Candy's Fortune when she broke $100,000. I mean, and then Philly's Revenge, we just saw it at Rushfield pacing 56 flat. You know, double parked, has a mile and 50 and 1 at DuQuoin, I think, last year. I mean, all these horses. Ashley's Little Angel went down to Oak Grove and got a big mark a couple years back. You know, this is another short field, 4 horses, but a very competitive field for sure.
As we get ready for the next to last race of the evening, again, we'll remind you here at the end of all the racing what our schedule is for the rest of this time. Again, we thank you. We thank Elisa. Again, what a great barn shot there. She had the Browns loading up, had the
brand new barn,
had the horses in the trailer. All their heads were out of
sticking
there,
out.
And then he was up on top putting the bikes up. And you know,
this is a picturesque view. You know, we're so fortunate to get these cameras out here and just point them at some of these memories that I have growing up. You know, these are great views, artistic views.
Isn't this the best looking barn you've ever seen?
This barn is brand new, and I haven't seen inside of it yet. There is a walkway on the inside, but this out shed row is brand new. I mean, gorgeous facility.
I could put my office in there. It's that nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
But some great things happening here. Another shot.
Horses are on the track for race 11 of our 12 events. This is the filly and mare division of the IHHA race for pacers age 3 and up. Again, all horses in these IHHA races must be Illinois conceived and foaled, and all the owners, trainers, and drivers who participate must be members of the Illinois Harness Horsemen's Association. A reminder, Richard Finn, the driver for the 1 double parked. Let's meet the field. Number 1 is double parked, owned by Kevin Miller of Arthur, and he's the trainer. Richard Finn, the driver. 2 is Ashley's Little Angel, owned by the Flacco Family Farms of Alexis, co-owned by the trainer Roshan Trigg of Brandon, Mississippi, and the driver, Michael Cox. 3 is Philly's Revenge, owned by Nan Turner of Argenta, trained by John Fletcher. Wyatt Avenetti is in the bike. And 4, Candy's Fortune, owned by Brian and Candy Herzog of Beecher City, trained and driven by Freddie Patton Jr. Headed to the gate, race 11.
And I haven't paid attention. Where does Freddie Patton train his horses at?
Down in DuQuoin.
DuQuoin? That's what I thought, because he was coming up there when Knoxville got called off.
Yep.
He literally was, as we were driving out, he was driving in. He'd made that 4-hour trek.
And I don't know who he rode with or whatnot, but the picture you texted me, I texted Jordan Patton to show them, like, hey, guys, it's pretty nasty up here. So they were right there, right there behind you. They came from DuQuoin. I think
Number 3, Philly's Revenge, the last of the 4 headed past the stands down to the south turn. That filly has been really tough at the DuQuoin State Fair. She won the County Fair Challenge at DuQuoin in August of her 2-year-old year, and again August of last year as a 3-year-old, and she continues to race well. All of these pacing mares are quite accomplished. A 28-time winner, Double Parked. A 12-time winner, Ashley's Little Angel. A 22-time winner, Philly's Revenge. And another 22-time winner, Candy's Fortune. Ashley's Little Angel with $76,000 in earnings. And then you've got Philly's Revenge at $87,000. Candy's Fortune at $104,000, and Double Parked with lifetime earnings of $147,000. So these are pacing mares which have proven their mettle on the circuit throughout Illinois over the past several seasons, and no doubt when the time comes for the racing career to end, they will probably all four become brood mares for their connections, and they will have excellent credentials to produce babies that one would think would have great potential to go on and be accomplished as well. At the post, gates rolling, small but tough field, race 11. Just over an eighth of a mile from the start. Great to have you with us on this Monday evening. A reminder, after race 12, those 8 cash drawings were $100 each, and we will recognize the oldest veterans in attendance with some special prizes. Here they come, race 11. They are off and pacing, and there goes Philly's Revenge out for the lead. Double Parked is away quickly as well. Candy's Fortune comes away in third, and Ashley's Little Angel is out fourth as they head down to the first turn, still side by side for the lead. Double Parked to the inside, and Philly's Revenge, who stacks up to the outside. They're separated by a half length. Double Parked saved the ground as they moved around the first turn, and as a result has the lead by almost a full length. Philly's Revenge is second. Couple of awkward steps for Philly's Revenge, and she lost a few feet to the leader, but now here she comes and starts to regroup and move up again just off the leader's flank. 29-4 for the opening quarter, 29 4/5 seconds. Double Parked is the leader. Double Parked saving the ground around the turn, and once again, Philly's Revenge toward the outside has to travel an extra distance of ground around the north turn, just as she did around the south turn, but she's still there just a length off the lead. Ashley's Little Angel is next toward the inside in third, and Candy's Fortune is last of the four. They are halfway home here in race number 11. Double Parked to the inside has the lead by 3/4 of a length, and then Philly's Revenge in second. A minute flat for the first half mile, 1 minute flat. Back into the south turn they go. Double Parked is still the leader. Philly's Revenge, she has gone the long way on the south turn, the north turn, and again on the south turn, but she's still there on the outside, but she is challenged here by Ashley's Little Angel, who moves up a closer third along the inside lane. Then there's a gap of 3 more lengths back to Candy's Fortune. There's a quarter mile to go in race 11. Double Parked is still the leader. Philly's Revenge is still second on the outside as they move over to the north turn. Double Parked, Philly's Revenge go 1-2. 130 2/5 at the 3/4. 130 2. And then Ashley's Little Angel to the inside in third. Candy's Fortune is fourth. Double Parked is still the leader. Double Parked leads off the final turn. Ashley's Little Angel to the inside, and Philly's Revenge is coming at the leader again. Philly's Revenge is game. What a performance! What a performance! Philly's Revenge gets it by a long nose on the line. Philly's Revenge by a long nose over Double Parked, with Ashley's Little Angel third and Candy's Fortune fourth. 2:02 flat was the time for the 1 mile distance. 2:02 flat. Was on the outside around both turns, both laps around the track, and yet Philly's Revenge still pulls a win out of the fire. Wow.
All right, as David goes out for the IHHA presentation, we take a look at that. 3-1-2.
Finish was close enough that the chief steward, our presiding judge, Mr. Randy Callahan, will confirm the result with the photo finish technician, but it did appear that Philly's Revenge got her nose to the wire first. Not by much, though. Double Parked was a stubborn foe to the inside. Time for the mile, 2:02 flat.
And so with the picks, David gets his third trifecta of the day. He's finishing strong here. I picked the right horse. Didn't get the order, anything else right. Lisa got the winning horse correct, but she picked the wrong order. She picked 3, 2, 1. And so with that, David gets a trifecta and pretty much wrapping things up. There's no way I can beat him today based on a tie. But we have fun doing this. You have a watch party at home and bring, do the same thing at your parties. Get the sheets. You can get them online. David usually puts the racing sheets out there so that people can download them. And
our photo finish technician this evening in her first season as a photo finish technician, Jessica Bruner, and she reports that indeed the photo shows the winner is number 3, Philly's Revenge by a nose over number 1, Double Parked. That was an amazing performance. The trainer, John Fletcher, and the owner and breeder, Nan Turner, are trackside, and they can be, I know they're always proud of their horses, but especially so tonight because this filly had to work, this mare had to work to earn that win. Not that she doesn't work on the other occasions, but she makes it look so easy. Tonight, she got thrown into the deep end of the pool and had to really prove herself this evening. And again, folks, when you can't get to the inside lane, when you're toward the outside, you're traveling a farther distance of ground, especially on a half-mile track where you have to negotiate both turns, not once but twice. So a 4-turn mile, and this mare was up to the challenge. How about a hand for Philly's Revenge? That's a driving triple for Wyatt Avenatti. Philly's Revenge, a 4-year-old mare by Revenge Shark, ties for the fastest mile of the night, 2:02 flat, tying Scrappy coming up. Thanks again to the Illinois Harness Horsemen's Association, and thanks to Queen Aubrey Lawson and our little miss Ellie Krieger down trackside as well. The hat trick for Wyatt Avenatti. Congratulations, Wyatt. Well, you notice also the way a harness horse driver can stay calm and cool and collected. Wyatt knows that pacing mare pretty well. He drives her on a regular basis. He's won a lot of races with her, and he knows John Fletcher always has her ready to race. So Wyatt never hit the panic button. He just sat chilly in the race bike, and even though he knew that this mare was having to cover some extra ground, he knew that she was capable, and he just sat chilly. And she won. Congratulations to our winning connections.
What?
John Fletcher with the wave to the crowd there, and Nan Turner as well. Here's the full field rundown from the 11th race. It is official. Double Parked was the runner-up. Ashley's Little Angel finished 3. Philly's Revenge the winner. Candy's Fortune finished 4. The opening quarter, 29-4. The first half mile in a minute flat. 3/4, 1:30 and 2/5 time for the mile. 2:02 flat. Reads down 2-3, 1-4. The 12th and final race is on the way. It is the horse and gelding division for the IHHA Pace. Driver change for the 1 Grand Ole Party, Wyatt Avenatti. Wyatt Avenatti will be the driver for number 1 Grand Ole Party. This Edgar County Fair has been faithful to harness racing over the years and over the decades, and when we talk to the horsemen, they will tell us how much they appreciate the Edgar County Fair Board, how much they appreciate you, the fans, and we also hear them mention that Mary Lou Wright has been a staunch advocate for harness racing, and the horsemen know that, and a lot of horsemen have pointed toward that brand new barn on the backstretch this evening and have said, if you ever wanted proof of the commitment this fair board under Mary Lou's leadership has made and continues to make to racing, right there you go. There is a concrete example standing alongside the back straightaway. Mary Lou, has been our speed superintendent. I think we looked this up. I believe she's been speed superintendent since 1973, Mary Lou, and I don't know. I think folks would be hard-pressed at any county fair in any state in America to match that record of dedication. She's trackside on the golf cart, ladies and gentlemen, Mary Lou Wright. Job well done to Mary Lou and the entire team here at the Edgar County Fair, and the horsemen do appreciate it. Also, our presiding judge, Mr. Randy Callahan, mentioned that the horsemen deserve a tip of the hat because a 12-race card, without the benefit of a lighting system around this racetrack, it's important to get the races contested in a timely, efficient, and safe manner. And indeed, the horsemen have done a great job of that this evening. So, horsemen, thank you as we get ready for the final race coming up 8 o'clock local Central Time. Track conditioning crew, I know that there are special challenges to any county fair when you have a half-mile track, which does sit dormant for most of the year. Not a lot of horses work over this track anymore during the off-season, and as a result, it takes a lot of work. We often see folks out here in the days leading up to race day, and they will walk this track, and they will carry buckets, and there will be rocks that have worked their way up through the surface. Safety, of course, paramount for the horses and the drivers, so a lot of folks always pitch in to get the track conditioned and ready for racing, and thank you one and all. Race 12 coming up, and don't forget, folks, the 162nd Edgar County Fair. We're just getting started. The fair continues through Saturday.
All right, David, we're getting ready for race 12 here. Final race of the day.
The nightcap.
The nightcap, and still light and still doing well with that. They've done a great job moving things along tonight. I usually figure 15 minutes a race, and we're going to be just a hair over that.
It's impressive, yeah. I mean, this whole year, the horsemen have done a great job. The announcers, the judges, keeping everyone kind of rolling and moving forward. And Kurt just alluded to it on the PA system. And a huge thank you to the horsemen for keeping this going because it would get kind of rough out there in the dark with no lights.
Okay, let's talk about our picks real quick.
Okay.
David, you picked the 2 horse, then the 3, and the 1. There's only 3 horses, so we all picked
2,
the
3,
same.
1.
2, 3, 1. And you pick Marcus Detweiler on Foxman. It's a Kevin Miller horse. And why did you pick the horse?
Well, that horse has been kind of consistent. You know, if you look on the chart there, there's three times hitting the board there between Rushville, Newton, and then down there in DuQuoin the bottom of the page. That horse, I don't know who's driving the 1. I must have missed that, Wyatt. Okay, so Marcus is on the 2, which is what I picked. Marcus owns that horse, if you look. Lester and Marcus Detweiler Sullivan own that horse, Foxman. You know, if the driver is driving his own horse, I got to believe he knows the horse. He's a little more invested in it. You know, that's where my pick went, just somebody who has a little more familiarity and a little more invested in that drive.
Well, and Lisa and I went with Deputy Dog, and that was a favorite of ours last year.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Dietrich Kelly and Jamaica, yeah, those two were rough at the fairs.
But you can't count out Grand Old Party out there also. You know, 113,000 lifetime on that horse. 2023 made $46,000
and got wide in the bike. You know, it's
I mean, you got the hometown boy.
If anyone knows the track as well, it's me, Wyatt or Matt. You know, so there's a you could pick any horse in this race, really. I mean, it's a toss-up.
Well, we picked 3, 2, 1. So
I went 2, 3, 1.
Huh?
I went 2, 3, 1.
Yeah,
so
we went. Lisa and I went 3, 2, 1.
So if Marcus wins this, or if Wyatt wins this thing on the 1, it's going to blow up all of our picks.
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely going to blow it up. And the other thing is here, you're sitting with 3 trifectas for the night, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wins. I'm sitting with 1 trifecta and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins.
See?
So even if I win this race and get the trifecta, you're still going to beat me overall. Lisa, unfortunately, no trifectas for her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 races for her. She's done pretty good.
Everyone has been. I mean, we're picking 8, 7, 8, 9 winners in a 12-race card.
Here's the problem with Lisa, because I've got him shut down. Lisa now has the sheets in front of her, and she's looking more at who owns the horse and whether she likes the horse or not.
That, I tell you what, you guys are learning something. I'm happy here. You guys are picking up on some of these little cues.
Real quick, they talk about, judges' inquiries and things like that. What are the things that you can do a judge's inquiry on? And that's got to be asked by who, though? The owner, the driver,
the judge can file an inquiry himself, and he can try to review the tape. But if a horseman comes off the track, they stop by the starting gate and let the starting gate know, hey, so-and-so got into me in the 3rd turn. And then they will phone it into the judge, and the judge will take a look at it then.
Okay.
See. Yeah.
Well, let's go back.
Here's our
The
field.
IHHA, Illinois Harness Horsemen's Association race for horse and gelding pacers age 3 and older. Number 1, Grand Ole Party, owned by MM&D Racing LLC of Charleston. Mitch and Mike Titus and Dennis Wright, trained by Mike Titus. The driver is Wyatt Avenatti. 2 is Foxman, owned by Kevin Miller of Arthur, Lester and Marcus Detweiler of Sullivan. The trainer is Kevin Miller, and the driver will be Marcus Detweiler as shown in the program. Number 3, that's where we find Michael Cox driving Deputy Dog, owned by Dietrich Kelly of Canton, Mississippi. The driver, Jamaica Patton. Horseman, speaking of saddle pads, if you would be so kind as to return your saddle pad numbers at the end of the evening to the area where you picked them up earlier today, we would appreciate your help. Thank you. Number 2, Foxman. The program mentions a past performance line to be announced from Saturday at the DuQuoin State Fairgrounds. Foxman finishing 5th with a beaten time of 1:56 and 3. 5th on the 1 mile track at DuQuoin, beaten time 1:56 and 3. That was Saturday for number 2, Foxman. At the post, the gate is rolling for our 12th and final event. Stay with us. We'll be coming trackside in a moment for those 8 drawings for $100 each. Must be present to win. Field moving toward the top of the stretch. Been great to have you with us, folks. Thanks for spending your Monday evening with us at the Edgar County Fair. Here they come, race 12. They are off and pacing in the nightcap, and there goes Deputy Dog from the outside. Grand Ole Party from the inside. These two will come out to contest the early lead. Foxman gets away 3rd, but right there with the other 2 as they head down into the first turn. It's still door-to-door for the lead. Grand Ole Party to the inside, Deputy Dog to the outside. They continue to go at it with an 1/8 of a mile in the books. They have hit the backstretch, and it is Grand Ole Party the leader. Grand Ole Party saved the ground around the south turn, leads by a length, and here's Foxman moving up the inside into 2nd. Deputy Dog will back away into 3rd, and will find a chance to drop in behind the other 2 and catch a breather and save some ground around that north turn. They are being led by Grand Ole Party 31 and 3 for the opening quarter, 31 and 3/5 seconds. Grand Ole Party is on top by a length and a half. Foxman is now in 2nd. Deputy Dog is last of the 3 after 3/8 of a mile as they work their way toward the half-mile mark. 12th and final race. What an evening of racing it has been. And Grand Ole Party is trying to give Wyatt Avenatti his 4th win on the card, but Marcus Detweiler would love a driving double. He's in 2nd, with a length off the lead there with Foxman past the half, and Deputy Dog is 3rd. Off the first half mile, 105 flat was the time, 105 flat. So a controlled tempo and a leisurely pace for a field of experienced pacers, and we'll see if that means Grand Ole Party might be tough to handle here, although he is under pressure. And the pressure is courtesy of Foxman, and Foxman has the lead by 3/4 of a length. Grand Ole Party is still there to the inside, but is now 2nd, 1/4 mile to go, and then a gap of 8 lengths back to Deputy Dog, who is 3rd, and Grand Ole Party is coming back along the inside lane, saving that ground around the final turn, but has to deal with Foxman. Foxman to the outside, Grand Ole Party to the inside. 1:36 and 1 the time at the 3/4. They turn for home. Foxman on the outside, Grand Ole Party to the inside. Foxman's got the lead by a length, and it will be a driving double for 18-year-old Marcus Detweiler at the Edgar County Fair. He salutes the crowd as he crosses the wire as Foxman wins by a length on the line. Grand Ole Party was 2nd, and Deputy Dog was across the line in 3rd. 2:04 and 3 was the time for the 1 mile distance. 2:04 and 3/5.
All right, and that finishes up our races for this evening as we get ready for the official finish to this. While we're waiting on that, I'm going to go.
Been great to have the gang at Harness Tube on hand to bring live coverage of tonight's races to our online audience. There's David Brink. He is not only the co-anchor alongside of Steve Surratt for Harness Tube, but David is a member of the Illinois Harness Horsemen's Association Board of Directors. So, David, the gentleman in the white shirt, joins Brenda Watson trackside and gets ready to present the blanket here for the 12th and final race. We'll meet the winner, we'll give the rundown, make it official, and then we'll come trackside for those drawings. So stay with us. $800 total to be given away in just a moment. Again, 8 drawings for $100 each. And a reminder, you must be present to win. Been great to have Aubrey Lawson with us here this evening, our newly crowned queen. We wish her all the best. She heads to Lincoln Trail Community College in Robinson this fall, majoring in music education. And it's been great to have our little Miss Ellie Krieger on hand as well.
As we get ready to go,
Foxman has just
take a
won
look
for the
at our
16th
schedule.
time in his career. He's a 4-year-old gelded son of Major Bombay. He's owned by Kevin Miller, who's also the trainer. Kevin is trackside. Kevin's home is in Arthur. He trains this horse at the Champaign County Fairgrounds, and Lester and Marcus Detweiler are the co-owners, and their home is in Sullivan, Illinois. Fairmeadow Farm bred the winner. Well, we told you that Marcus Detweiler got his first career win at the Schuyler County Fair in Rushville, June 30th. He won a race earlier here tonight. So this marks another milestone because with this second win on the card, it's the first career driving double for the young man from Sullivan, Marcus Detweiler, your winning driver, folks. Always fantastic. See the combination of veteran or experienced horsemen along with the aspiring young horsemen on the fair circuit. We've seen that here tonight. Foxman is anxious to get back to the barn. He says enough of this winner's circle stuff, and we don't blame him. He has earned the right with that win to get on back to the barn and have a rest. Congratulations to our winning connections. Here's the official full field rundown. For race 12, from the top, Grand Ole Party, the runner-up. Foxman was the winner. Deputy Dog finished 3. The quarter, 31 and 3. The half and 105. 3 quarters, 136 and 1/5. And the time for the mile, 2:04 and 3/5.
Okay, with that, David, we'll see people tomorrow night at Urbana, 6 p.m. Post time. With that, 16 races with Celebrity Race. And then we still got a lot more racing for you this year, folks. We really appreciate everybody's online participation, your participation through donations, advertisers, and everything else.
Absolutely.
And Marcus gets another win there. He's got the $1 million smile out there.
Good to see his family in the winner's circle there with him, too, yeah.
And so with that, we're going to say goodbye, good night, and God bless, and we'll see you in Champaign, Urbana.
See you tomorrow.